this language on the face of this world. Chico the Cabia Mapuni, Chineke, and son of the winner, Isala, Nina, and Agoza, Hanso, Yanina, Jama, and Yanage, Faros, Obanana, all beyond the then so no one but you know what? I would like you to know that someone is the cause of no, I am the solution, and the only way they can get to you is by kicking me out, which is not. I have come. After I am done with Nigeria, Biafra will be free and enjoy freedom. Biafra will know the importance of freedom and what happens in 5 years to come. Thank you.
Breaking news reaching us now, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has been arrested, extradited to Nigeria, and is right now being arraigned at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Kanu is facing charges bordering on treasonable felony instituted against him at the Federal High Court.
It was an unjust war.
Long ago, in the heart of Biafra, a nation was born from the ashes of war. A war that scarred the land and its people, yet it never killed the spirit of freedom.
The war aim of Biafra is purely to prevent ourselves being slaughtered, nothing more.
It was in this land, scarred by conflict, that Nnamdi Kanu was born, a son destined to revive the dream of independence for Biafra.
And if anybody is going to judge our success and failure in this war, it will have to depend on how much we have prevented the enemy from killing us.
Raised with the echoes of his ancestors' struggles, Kanu understood that the wounds of war ran deep in the hearts of his people. The scars from the Biafran War, which ravaged the land and cost countless lives, had never healed. The dream of an independent Biafra, broken but not forgotten, lived on in the hearts of those who survived. It was these voices, these memories, that called him to action. As Nnamdi Kanu grew, so did his voice. He became a preacher of justice, a messenger for those who were unheard. He spoke not just for his generation, but for all those whose lives were shattered by the war. The pain of the past was alive within him, and his words resonated with the cries of the oppressed. But as Kanu's message spread, so did the fear of the establishment. His calls for self-determination grew louder, shaking the very foundations of the government. They feared the revival of a Biafran spirit, one that could awaken the wounds of the past and ignite a new conflict. And so, they moved against him. Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, his body captured, but his spirit unbroken. The authorities believed that imprisoning him would extinguish the fire he had started. But they failed to understand the depths of his cause. The pain of the war, the bloodshed of the past, was not something easily forgotten. It was a flame that could never be fully extinguished. His arrest became a symbol of the struggle that began in the blood-soaked fields of the Biafran War. The demand for freedom was still alive. The fight for justice continued, not just for Nnamdi Kanu, but for all the lives lost, for all the children born into a world of scars. The fight for Biafra is not just his fight. It is the fight of all those who have ever dreamed of a free land. And though the past may haunt the present, the future is still unwritten. As long as the story of Nnamdi Kanu is told, as long as the voices of his people rise, the dream of Biafra lives on. Arrested again, 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 and yet again.
I agitate for Biafra. I agitate for Biafra, my right to agitate, my right. They turned it from treasonable felony now to terrorism.
This is Nnamdi Kanu speaking. Biafra land, listen. They thought they could silence me, but they didn't just cage me. They caged your spirit. They made you forget that our land still bleeds, that our people still suffer, that nothing has changed. 5 years in chains. But what about you? Are you not free? Or have they bound your voice with fear? The struggle was never about me, it was about you, your children, your land, your future. So I ask you, where is fire that once burned in your heart? Where is the voice that once roared for freedom? Wake up! Rise again. Speak. Act. Remember who you are. This is Nnamdi Kanu.
Prayer of David from the book of Psalm, chapter 7. And I will pray in English because a lot of people are listening all over the world. I mean, a lot, millions are listening all over the world. And I want them to follow our proceedings this very evening. Very, very critical, very, very important that we do so. O Lord, my God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, we take refuge in you. Save and deliver us from all that pursue us. Because if you look away from us, they will tear us apart like a lion and rip us to pieces with no one to rescue us. Because the world is against Biafra for no reason. We are hated, we are despised for no discernible reason. Only thee, O Lord God Almighty in heaven, is our Savior, not man. You must come to our rescue because you are our Lord and you are our God. If we have done this, if I have done anything, if there is guilt on my hands, if I have repaid anybody, be it friend or an adversary, with evil or without cause, have done wrong to any man or woman, then let the Fulani Janjaweed pursue and overtake me. Let them trample down my life to the ground and make me sleep in the dust. Arise, O Elohim, Adonai El Shaddai, in your anger, rise up against the rage of the Fulani Janjaweed Caliphate and the Zoological Republic. You will rise and you will fight for your children. You will awake, O Heavenly Father, Lord God Almighty, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the owner of the universe, for you must decree justice. Let your children and all men and of goodwill gather around you while you sit on top of your throne in the highest of the heavens, the habitation that only thee can ever occupy. Only you, O Heavenly Father, will judge the people. You will vindicate me, O Lord. You will vindicate IPOB. You will vindicate your children of Biafra according to our righteousness, according to our integrity. O Most High, bring an end to the violence of the wicked. Bring an end to Fulani Janjaweed violence in our land. bring an end to their abductions, bring an end to their kidnappings, bring an end to their extrajudicial slaughter of the innocent, bring an end to their forced conversion of Christians into Islam, bring to an end their mediocrity, bring to an end their senseless feudal rule, bring to an end their evil and their deception. Come and secure the righteous, because only you, O God Almighty in heaven, can see in the dark. Only you know the hearts of men. You are our shield. We have nobody. Between 67 and 1970, the whole world ganged up and fought against your children. We did not steal anything from anybody. We did not go after anybody's possession nor inheritance. We were on our own in the land that you gave to our ancestors. They conspired, they connived, they colluded to kill us. Over 5 million people. We are dead at the end of it. You are our shield. We do not trust in any man or in any state. We trust only in thee, because you are God and you always save the upright at heart. Anybody whose heart is clean, O Heavenly Father, to those you do not abandon to their enemies. That is why you cannot abandon IPOB. That is why Biafra can never be abandoned. Because your words are yea and amen. You are God, you're not human. Facebook may have been bought over by Nigeria, and we pray that Twitter will not succumb to their threats and their violence. You are God, and you are not upright and a just judge. But you are also a God that displays his wrath every blessed day. If Fulani Janjaweed do not relent in what they are doing, if the Fulani Caliphate continues to pursue this scorched earth policy of abductions and murder and mayhem, then you, O Lord God in heaven, you will sharpen your sword, you will bend and string your bow, you will prepare your deadly weapons, you will make ready your flaming arrows. Whoever is pregnant with evil conceives trouble and gives birth to disillusionment. That is what is happening in the zoo called Nigeria. Nigeria is pregnant with evil because it conceived trouble and it has now given birth to disillusionment. All the holes that the Fulani Janjaweed are digging for us into that pit, they are falling into one after the other. The trouble that they have caused will always rebound on them. Their violence will come down on their own heads. O Heavenly Father, for we shall give thee thanks always, all the days of our lives, because only thee is righteous. We shall sing songs of praise unto your holy name, O Most High. For as long as there is a child on this earth of Biafran descent and heritage, O Heavenly Father, we shall worship your name and your name alone, now and forevermore, we pray. He said, that was our prayer this evening. We are now going to proceed without further hesitation to bring to you the gospel which I have been mandated by heaven to preach to the children of men. So I don't complain. People are entitled to the opinion. And I don't expect everybody to agree with me all the time. It is impossible. These people, because we stood up to them, Because IPOB said enough is enough, because we formed Eastern Security Network to safeguard our land, our forest and our bush and our farmlands for our people to go and farm. Because we said to Fulani, you cannot conquer this land of the ancients. That is the only crime we committed. That is the only crime we committed. They went overboard. We are going to speak in a language you will understand. But Boko Haram, ISIS in West Africa, Ansaru, Miyetti Allah, Fulani foreign bandits, Fulani local bandits, Fulani terrorists in general, Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb. These are all terror franchise run by Fulani people in Nigeria. That is a fact. It is not hate speech. It is a fact. These people in Aso Rock never spoke the language that Boko Haram understood. They never spoke the language that Fulani headsmen, the same people. What I find astonishing is that these people, they will ignore the timber, the tree in their own eyes, and they'll be looking for the speck of dust in your own. I want to ask Fulani Janjaweed, have you dealt with Boko Haram in their own language? Did you go to the north massacring people, abducting people, killing them, basically committing genocide in broad daylight as you're doing right now in the east? The answer is no. Throughout the years of Fulani rampage through the Middle Belt, have you ever read the riot acts to them? The answer is no. But the whole world, what I find astonishing is the hypocrisy of man. BBC, Twitter, Facebook, all the rest of them, New York Post, everybody, Sky News. All of you are witnesses to this march of the Janjaweed across from the Sahel into the Middle Belt part of Nigeria, killing, slaughtering and maiming people. All of you are aware. Nobody will ever say to Garba Shehu, why did you not read riot acts to Boko Haram, to Fulani, your fellow Miyetti Allah, that you gave 100 billion to? Why didn't you read it to them? Oh, he read a riot act to IPOB. He read, oh, can't you, the president has spoken. And when I say it, sometimes people take offense, but it is a fact of life that there is something fundamentally wrong with us. I've said this many times because I know that the owners of Twitter, they are listening to my broadcast this evening via that very platform. I want them to understand that I am also self-critical. We are our own worst enemies because of the way we reason, because of the way we think. And that is why black people are at the bottom of the pile all over the world, wherever you go to, because of how we reason. The same person trying to address the issue of insecurity in the East in the language they will understand, failed to address his own people in the language they themselves will understand. Now, I believe that you're following what I'm saying. Please pay very close attention. When it comes to Biafrans, the Easterners, to Igbo people in particular, there is this great understanding, there is this unity of purpose, that an Igbo man should be hated and killed if need be. It didn't start today. It started all the way back in 1945. And as most scholars and commentators have noted over the years, anywhere you go and you find hardworking people, people who are blessed by God, they attract envy. The only reason why those idiots like Garoba Shehu will be mouthing all their rubbish and saying, oh, we are going to speak the language they understand, is because of their natural hatred for Biafran people. Is there anywhere in the world, even the Armenian massacre has been recognized by the US Congress as being a genocide worthy of note. We lost 5 million people. Some of you don't even ask yourself questions sometimes. How come Biafrans lost 5 million people yet nobody's talking about it? It's because of that palpable hatred all across the board for no reason. These are the demons that we are fighting on a daily basis. Now you want to teach Biafrans a lesson or speak to them in the language they will understand, which is the language of genocide. That was the reason why the tweet purportedly made by Buhari was taken down by Twitter. But let us just go back a little bit and at least put on our thinking cap this very evening, morning, noon or night, depending on where you are, and ask ourselves a very simple question. Who brought insecurity into Nigeria? Bandits killed 91 people. By bandits, I mean these are Fulani people. Fulani terrorists killed 91 people in a place called Danko, Wasagu, local government area of Kebbi State. And I want you to listen very carefully to what I have to say. I want all the people listening all over the world to pay attention to what I have to say. The same people threatening to go and unleash genocide and mayhem in the East, in their own backyard, their own people, those referred to as legitimate stakeholders in the government, or should I say the governance of Nigeria, Miyetti Allah, we are busy slaughtering 91 people in Kebbi State. Now it doesn't stop there. Who are those they are killing, you may ask? Is it not the North? Kebbi State is mainly populated by Hausa people. The Fulani people are killing Hausa people in Kebbi State. They are killing the Lena people. They are killing the Busawa people. They are killing the Dukawa people. They are killing the Dakakari people. They are killing the Kambari people. They are killing the Gungawa people. They are killing the Kamuku ethnic nationality in Kebbi. Are you listening to me? Later on, I will tell you why they're obsessed with dividing us. South-East, South-South, Niger Delta, Igbo, and all that rubbish. Because in the North, I'm telling you the truth, they are not one. Forget all the rubbish. Because what the Fulanis did very cleverly was to emasculate the political, economic, and social space within Nigeria. All the, should I say, media outlets in the North only have one agenda: to throw out the Fulani narrative on a daily basis. Daily Trust, Premium Times, NTA, Channels Television, to an extent AIT. They are using Punch newspaper. Intermittently, they will use Vanguard. They will use Nation newspaper as they will, now and again. In Kebbi State, as they are busy telling you about Southeast and South, Niger Delta and Igbo. Delta is not Igbo, not that rubbish. I want to tell you that in one single state in the North, the Fulani is a minority. And in that place that the Fulani people are a minority, they have gone on and killed 91 Hausa people. Are you following what I'm telling you? They have killed 91 Hausa people. You will not hear anybody ever. If it is anywhere else, they'll say, oh, they're killing Fulani. What is happening to Fulani? But Fulani went into Kebbi State, which doesn't belong to them, and killed 91 Hausa people. This happened 2 days ago. No, in fact, basically on Saturday, very early morning on Saturday, it happened yesterday, to be honest, the 5th of June. The police command in Kebbi State on Saturday confirmed that bandits, they don't want them to be called terrorists. Because once they're called terrorists, you know, Boko Haram, ISIS in West Africa, Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb comes to mind, and Saru and Miyetti Allah will come to mind. So you know what the government of Nigeria did through Lai Mohammed, their Minister of Information? They said to media houses, do not call them Fulani terrorists anymore, just call them bandits. So that way the eyes of the people and the attention of the world will be deviated or deflected away from the real identity of these murderers and killers. It's a very simple strategy. Maybe it was Britain that advised them to do that. Maybe it's Katrina Lang that advised them to do that. I am telling the whole world only yesterday, as they were shouting about Southeast insecurity, we are going to kill, we'll bring in the army, we'll land aeroplane, we'll bomb everybody. In their own backyard, this same government is aiding and abetting the Fulani slaughter of Hausa people. It's here now, it's not very clear. Bandits kill 91 people in Danko, Wasagulo, confirmed by the police. And who confirmed it? The public relations officer, the PRO. His name is DSP Nafiu Abubakar. He confirmed the figures and said all the victims were killed in 8 different communities in the local government area. He said 8 different communities. These are Fulani people killing Hausa people. Telling you the Hausa Fulani. That is why I keep wondering, I keep asking Nigerians all the time, what is in your brain? What sort of substance is in your brain? Is it the white matter that God created, or is it something else that is there? As they have now corralled all the media houses in the zoo to focus on the East, Fulani are busy killing Hausa people. They'll come out and they'll say, oh, we are Hausa Fulani. But behind closed doors, they are slaughtering Hausa people. It is here now. Go and ask the DSP Nafiu Abubakar of Kebbi State. He is the public relations officer of the police in Kebbi State. He confirmed it. According to him, the command has so far recovered 88 bodies and dispatched a detachment of operatives to maintain law and order in the affected communities. There is no bombardment. Like all? No, not at all. Because they are all the Fulani, they know what they're doing. There is no bombardment. There is no shoot at sight order. There is no abduction of young men with tattoos on their body. No rape of women. No, not at all. This is in a state where 88 Hausa people were slaughtered by Fulani terrorists. Now tell me why any decent person would want to belong to such a country. What is what is of concern to them? Are you following me? Are you following what I'm saying? I hope that people are following what I'm saying sequentially. A country where 91 people were slaughtered only yesterday, their concern is the East. Do you see how they roll? Because Fulani has an agenda. The agenda is to conquer all of you. But some of us are so foolish and so idiotic, we don't understand what their game plan is. If they do not have it in mind to conquer all of you, how come something as massive as the slaughter of 91 people did not elicit any comment from the so-called presidency? Tell me in which country, anywhere in the world, that such idiocy obtains. Only in Nigeria. When I say it, they say his insightful tweet, he's inciting violence, and you are the ones committing violence. Fulani, you are the ones that killed 91 Hausa people in Kebbi State. You get me massaging them, say, oh, we are Hausa Fulani, but you're killing them. 88 bodies were recovered. Now, let me tell you that all the people that I mentioned earlier were being killed. The killings took place in Koro, Kimpi, Gaya, Dimi, Zutu, Rafingora, Igwenge villages, and in all Danko Wasagu local government area of Kebbi State. Are you following me? Now, the question that Twitter, I'm sure you people are listening to me this evening. The question you need to ask Lai Mohammed is this. Who killed those people in Kebbi State? What is their identity? Because any time anything happens in the East, it's ESN, IPOB, ESN. You even find the Yoruba newspapers. Without any investigation, they will say it's IPOB, ESN, IPOB, ESN. I want to ask Yoruba media, Yoruba journalists, you evil people, have you ever wondered or asked yourselves the people behind the slaughter of the innocent in Kebbi State? Why couldn't you say it's Mietiala? The way you quickly say it's IPOB, it's ESN. It is that hatred. It is in your bone marrow. You cannot get rid of it. I am not talking about the freedom fighters we have in Yoruba land. I am talking about their journalists. Journalism from Yoruba land is pure venom, designed to paralyze your thinking faculties and to render you useless. By the time they are done with you, Fulani will just walk you over. I want to ask Yoruba newspapers, how come you are saying it is bandits that kill people in Kebbi State, whereas anything that happens in the East is ESN, IPOB? Why? Do you see why I hate Nigeria? Do you see why I agitate for Biafra? Because you hate me for no reason, for speaking the truth. That is the only, you hate me for no reason. Then why should I not seek a country of my own? Given the level of hatred you have towards us. Daily Trust newspaper will be somewhere in Kaduna. Something will happen maybe in Okigwe, and he will write it is IPOB ESN. He has never been to Okigwe before. I want the world to listen to what I'm saying, to understand the level of hatred directed towards Igbo Biafrans especially. To all Biafrans anyway. The other ones, they are treating them as if they are normal, but of course they are not. Fulani killed Hausa people. The same newspaper is writing Hausa Fulani. Hausa Fulani. I want to ask the whole world tonight, who are the people responsible for the killing of 91 Hausa people in Kebbi State? The answer is Fulani. And they know that they are terrified to write the truth. They are terrified to speak the truth. That is why I cannot be in the same country with you people. You people are evil. You are evil. You see evil and you support it. You keep your mouth shut. You want Tinubu to be president. And you are paying dearly for these mistakes you're making. As we proceed, I am going to bring to the attention of the world the damage that Yoruba journalism has done to Yoruba people. I will prove it tonight. On this noble platform, what we preach is the truth. You may not like it, but if you go back and reflect upon everything that I say, you will come to the realization that it is the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. You may not like the way I deliver it. I give you that. I'm not too bothered about it. But ask yourself this question: is Nnamdi Kanu speaking the truth? This evening, am I preaching the truth or not? Why is it anytime something happens without proper investigation, it is IPOB or ESN? But only yesterday, all of you in the zoo called Nigeria, you reported the massacre that took place in Kebbi State. My simple question tonight is to Punch newspaper, to Nation newspaper, to Vanguard, all the rest of you that are basically trotting out the Fulani narrative every blessed day. I want to ask a simple question. Who are the perpetrators of that heinous crime in Kebbi State? Once you answer it truthfully, you will now understand why I am pursuing a sovereign state of Biafra. Because all of you are hypocrites. I want also, Twitter, are you listening to me? Because they want to listen. Like Muhammad told them, go and listen to him. You hear his hate-filled speech tonight, and you ban him on Twitter as they bribed Facebook to try and suppress my page. and Twitter, you're listening. My happiness is that Twitter is owned by a white man. And white people are more objective when it comes to issues of this very nature. I don't want to go into the background of Mark Zuckerberg. That will take care of itself in time to come. But I'm sure that the owner of Twitter is a white man. So he is bound to be objective, at least. I want to also let the whole world understand what is happening in the north, in Fulani-controlled northern part of Nigeria. The core north, I call them the Arewa, the Janjaweed frontier of the north. What is happening? Do you know that Islamic leaders who are Fulani people are abducting Hausa people who are Christians and forcibly converting them to Islam and forcibly marrying them off to whoever that wants to take a Hausa Christian bride? Are you aware of that? No, you're not aware of it. Because some of you erroneously think that in the north they are all Muslims. Is that what you're thinking? No, you're wrong. Islam is in the minority in the north. You'll be shocked to know this. Now, let me explain something to you. And I must thank Inter-Society for bringing this to the attention of the world. Because they actually called for the prosecution of some Islamic leaders in Katsina State. The same state that they claim the dead Buhari, whoever is there, comes from. Answering Buhari. Of course, the late Buhari comes from Katsina. Do you know what they're doing in Katsina State? Fulani Caliphate Islamic people there are kidnapping people, young women, most of them Hausa Christians, and forcibly converting them to Islam. It may sound far-fetched, but it is true. And I'm going to shock most of you this evening. There is a group in the north. They are called the Hausa Christian Foundation. HACFO, HACFO for short. The Hausa Christian Foundation reported incidences of indiscriminate abduction of underage girls by Islamic leaders in Katsina State and forcing them to renounce their Christian faith to take up Islam. What they did to Leah Shoibu. To tell you that they are all in it together. This is what I want Yoruba media to understand. I know that some of them are Muslims. I understand that very well. But at least they are educated. They went to school. They are not quota products as you have in the north. Not at all. You have in the Janjaweed north, that is. Do you know what the group said? Hausa Christians, what they said. The Nigerian government must sanction the Katsina Islamic leaders for indiscriminate abduction and forceful conversion of scores of Hausa Christians, especially girls of underage, to Islam. This is according to a statement issued on the 15th of April 2021 by the Hausa Christians Foundation. According to the group, there has been indiscriminate abduction of hundreds of Hausa girls and their forcible conversion to Islam. The abducted Hausa Christian girls who are under the school age of 16 are also forced into early marriage, done outside the consent of their parents. This is happening in a place called Nigeria. These are the people that want to ban Twitter. These are the people that bought over Facebook. The same people that bought over Satlink in Israel because they were carrying our signal. These people. I'm asking all of you Nigerians, for goodness sake, when will you begin to reason and to learn? They claim, are we not upholding the rule of law? So the rule of law in the north stipulates that you must abduct a little girl and forcibly convert her to Islam. This is happening. It is a report. Let me also the game plan of the Fulani, and I want Twitter to understand it. They will come with harassment. They will try to buy shares in Twitter. They will try to impose their own people as directors of the board of Twitter. They will try to get you to change your policies towards Nigeria. Because the Fulanis have a long-term goal. They know what they're looking for. They want the total Fulanization and Islamization of the geopolitical space called Nigeria. That's what they want. And they will never stop until they get it. They will never ever stop. This is something that I want Yoruba people to understand. This is something I want Middle Belt on. In Middle Belt, you will be taken. You'll be swallowed alive. I'm telling you, you will be taken. The only reason why this demonic colonization is not in full swing is because of the activities of IPOB and Eastern Security Network. That's what is stopping them. If not, by now, we would all be gunners. The time now is 5 minutes to 8 p.m. in the land of Biafra. We are live and we are direct. It is also the same number, say 3 minutes to the top of the hour, regardless of where you are. We are preaching a gospel that heaven asked us to speak and to preach about this very evening, and we must do so. People are saying, ESN, IPO, not people anyway, of course, the Janjaweed and those that hate Biafrans, naturally, that's what they always do. They've been doing it since 1945, it's not new. The demonization of the East didn't start today, it's since 1945, and it's never going to stop. Even when we get our Biafra, it will never ever stop. It is inbred. How did we get to where we are today? I want to ask, people must listen very attentively, please. I want to ask the whole world. You're talking about ESN, you're talking about IPOB agitation and all that rubbish, the way we speak, our violent talk. I want to ask the whole world, please. How did we get to where we are today? Number one question, I want to ask the Zoo media, Nigerian journalists. In 2014, what did IPOB do to warrant the massacre of people in Onitsha and Enugu? I hasten to add. In 2015, let me also ask, what did we do to deserve being massacred on October and November of 2015? People talk about Nigeria as if it is one normal country or nation. No, it is not. Nigeria is a gangland. It is run by gangsters, basically, masquerading as politicians. This is something that Twitter must understand. The world must understand it. It is a fact. Let me ask you. You see the Shia people, Shia Muslims of El Zagzagi. What did they do to deserve to be massacred in Zaria? Were they violent? Were they carrying arms? Let me leave Shia. Let me come to IPOB once again. In 2016, I was in detention. I was in detention in Abuja. People gathered to remember 30th of May 2016. We got together in a place called Mbo. Or should I say at a place called Mbo? I have to be grammatically exact. To pray, to remember the dead, exactly what we did a few days ago. Do you know what happened? I want the world to understand. I hope Twitter can follow what I'm saying. I want mankind to understand. On the evening of the 29th of May 2016, Nigerian Army, Nigerian police went to a place called Mbo and killed over 1,000 people. Now you'll be wondering, what did they do? What's their crime? Their only crime was to gather together to try to remember those that died between 1967 and 1970. The army went there and shot over 1,000 people dead. Am I lying? Nigerian journalists, am I lying? After all, Amnesty published a report about it. A report was published by Amnesty International on this very massacre. I want to ask everybody then, was there any ESN? Any arms anywhere? Was anybody carrying any guns or anything of that sort? It's only the flag. You shot people dead. Have you all forgotten? You Zoo people, have you all forgotten what you did in 2016? Let us go to Abba. If you doubt me, go and look at the clip, and I want it everywhere tonight, please. The clip of that Al Jazeera journalist interviewing the late dead Buhari when the idiot was still alive. You know, sometimes I want to sound statesman-like, but it's not possible. I'm dealing with animals in a zoo. How can you wear a suit and you be playing with monkeys? It's not possible now. You'll get dirty. So it's better you take off everything now and be naked like them and be swimming in the mud. Isn't that the best thing to do? Sometimes I come on air and I want to sound very statesman-like, but it's not possible because we are dealing with vagabonds, to be honest with you. Why did I call them vagabonds? Listen to my reasons, please, before you castigate me. Those you massacred at Mpo in 2016, what did they do to you? Were they violent? Were they armed? Those that you criminalized for asking for self-determination, do you know that it is a deliberate policy of the Nigerian state with their neo-colonial handlers to be calling us secessionists? Sky News published an article a few days ago and called Sky News in the UK called IPOB a secessionist group. New York Post made the same mistake. Reuters, everybody calling us secessionists. Now, I want to ask them a simple question. Why is it that you don't refer to Scottish agitation for self-rule a secessionist movement? Oh, because they are white. Okay, sorry, I do apologize. They are white. What do we know? We are black monkeys. We know nothing. Nicola Sturgeon can agitate for a separate homeland for the Scottish people. Sky News will not call it secessionism. New York Post will never ever target a secessionist movement, neither will CNN. But because in Africa, Biafrans are asking for the same thing that Scottish people are asking for, you now tag them secessionists. This is what is called very sublime racism. If you don't know, I will teach you and you will know. In Europe, it is called ethnic nationality. In Africa, it's called a tribe. For a reason. I'm asking the whole world this evening, why is it that Nicola Sturgeon, the leader of the Scottish people, asking for Scottish independence makes her, they don't even have a name for her. If I ask for the same thing that Nicola Sturgeon is asking for, Nnamdi Kanu becomes a secessionist. How did we get to where we are today? Go and publish, please, everybody publish that very interview. I think it was Denise that was interviewing the late Buhari then. We were praying in Aba National High School in Aba. Twitter, are you listening to me? Before they ask you to ban me tomorrow morning. So you want to understand why we are upset, why we are angry, why we address Nigeria as a zoo. I'm not telling you the reason why. Or should I say the reasons why. We gathered in Aba to pray. National High School in Aba to pray. These your newfound friends now, Nigerian police, they came, they opened fire and killed people. And I want to ask the Nigerian police that kill people, those praying inside National High School in Aba, were they carrying any guns? It's a simple question. Ipazu is that the governor of Abia State. All those people you shot dead, were they? In fact, they were even running away, you're pursuing and killing them. You packed some of them, you thought they were dead, and you put them in a pit along Aba Iguacha Expressway, and you poured that seed on them. Luckily, one person survived that very ordeal. And I hope that Yoruba journalists are listening to me tonight. I hope you're listening very carefully and attentively. You want to understand why we're upset? I'm not telling you why we're angry and why we want Biafra. You thought they were dead. You shot so many people dead. You packed their bodies and dumped them in a borrow pit. In order to make their identification impossible, you poured that seed on them, on their faces, to disfigure them, true or false. We have a survivor of that very ordeal, and his plight was well publicized. I even think that CNN even carried the news at some point. But you know one funny thing? Yoruba media never carried the news. But we're in one Nigeria. They wanted to be good Nigerians. We all need to be good, but they never carried the news of this grave injustice being done to a people. Are you following me? Why did we form Eastern Security Network? Why? You know, ESN, if you go now, ESN. We formed, I think his name is Jack and of Twitter. Jack,
Good evening, those of you, the nincompoop, who are here to talk like reasonable people. Good evening. Also, welcome. I want to tell you today that we have defeated you and we will continue to defeat you at every level. We have defeated you from the grassroots up to the international level, and now we are having what we call the last fight to defeat all of you. I welcome you today as we are about to make history for the indigenous people of Biafra. I welcome you all this evening as we are about to make history. I decided to come here today on this space to just have like 30-minute discussion with Biafrans who have suffered Nigeria evil entity for decades. And today we have been able to lay a very straight and good foundation hanging on the only possibility to disintegrate Nigeria, which is to not validate the coming election. I want you to understand that a lot of people are having the divergent view that, oh, Nigeria, they don't see that Nigeria will disintegrate, they don't see Nigeria will dissolve. Well, it will come like a surprise to every one of you. What Nigeria is going through now, the Soviet Union didn't go through it, Yugoslavia didn't go through it. Nigeria is going through worse situation than many countries that have dissolved. And why are you not concerned about why must people be talking about unity of Nigeria instead of talking about development? They put more energy, more resources in talking about one Nigeria instead of talking about the progress and the development. That's to show you that Nigeria was never designed to progress or designed to make an impact in people's life. So from the day one of Nigeria, it has always been about one Nigeria, the unity, the unity. You can't force people into unity when the unity is not real. And we have been able to make that case very clear. Those of you that were supporting us before the emergence of a scam called P2B, you will all be crying tomorrow. The reality will set in tomorrow. After that, you are going to come back to us and start praising us like you did in the past because of your chaotic nature. You will come back and say, oh, they have rigged P2B or something like that. Election will not take place. Biafra will not vote tomorrow. And the whole world will see it as it will happen. Some of you that think that you can win, you can defeat me with propaganda. I'll tell you, it is only the truth that can stand the test of time. Today, I have defeated all of you with truth, not with propaganda. Biafrans follow me because I am saying truth. I did not preach to Biafran with propaganda. Everything I have done from the beginning till this time has always been with fact and evidence. So I have not come to this struggle to bring fake news and bring propaganda to deceive Biafra people. Nigeria is not working and it will never work. And if you think that you are on the right path, from tomorrow, you will cry. From tomorrow, you will know that Biafra people have made up their mind to leave Nigeria. And the process of the Nigeria disintegration starts tomorrow. Mark my word, the process of Nigeria disintegration for a better society starts tomorrow. And you people are going to be the one that will start it, whether you like it or not. Because you channel your energy to something that doesn't work. You channel your energy to stupid things. And with all your propaganda against me I am here live and direct talking on space. If you like, you can say that this is a robot. This is my robot or robotic Ekpa talking. This is not me. This is me live and direct. And after this Twitter space, I will be going live this evening to talk to the Biafra people and remind them about our resolve tomorrow. Today, as you have seen that today's sit at home was a very successful one. Today, we did not see goat in the street. Today, even Iguacha, Port Harcourt, River State was under total lockdown. Yet, they will still come and lie that, oh, it was in the morning or in the afternoon or in the night that they videoed it. Tomorrow is going to shock all of you. Nobody will be seen in the street of Biafra land. After that, we are going to sit back and watch how you deal with each other. Because I know some of you, you have decided to channel your energy to the wrong cause by supporting One Nigeria. We are going to sit back and watch you deal with yourself from tomorrow. And that tomorrow will mark the beginning of the end of Nigeria. But Simon Ekpa is still here, standing very strong. Because all you do is to lie and carry propaganda against me, and I continue to stand very strong and very tall, above all of you, with truth. I am here. And this evening again, by the time I come live, please go and announce it that it is not Simon Ekpa talking, that it is the replica of Buhari that is going to be talking to Biafra people today. But Simon Ekpa is here. Some people even say that I sneaked the phone into the prison. I sneaked this phone I'm using to do this into the prison, that if somebody can sneak phone into the prison within 1 day, you should respect such person. However, I am here in my house, on my own, as a free man. And you have failed. Those of you will use your hand to bring your end. And let me tell you, the way I am defeating you now is the way I will defeat you until Biafra come. You are going to sleep in Nigeria and wake up in Biafra. Mark my word, we have just 10 days to go. From tomorrow, you will go out and start fighting yourself. All right, Chiamaka Van, you are a co-host to this program. You can bring in people to ask questions and let me address them. At least.
Security network was because our mothers were being raped when they go to the farm. Our daughters were being slaughtered, cut into pieces. Why did we form Eastern Security Network? Because our mothers were being killed and raped in the farms, our fathers were being slaughtered. We can no longer go to the farm. Our forests and our bushes were unsafe. Was that not the reason why ESN was formed? I'm asking Yoruba journalists. Is it not the same reason why you formed Amoteku? Is that not the same reason why? Don't Amoteku carry pump action? Is Amoteku not armed? Is anybody remotely suggesting that Amoteku is the armed wing of Yoruba liberation movement? I'm asking this question. Now, the thing is, you people, you are Southerners, you are black people. Some of you are well read. But what I don't understand is, why do you keep gravitating towards evil? Why do Yoruba journalists always want to support evil? I can't understand it for the life. I don't know why they do that. Amoteku is armed, clashing with Fulani headsmen in your forest. Is that not correct? Anytime we drive away Fulani from our forests, you now come back to us and tell us that we are armed wing of IPOB. Forgetting the reason why we formed it in the first place. What is happening in Oyo? There is massacre going on in Oyo. I'll get to that later on. Do you know my happiness today? Miyetti Allah opened their mouth and said, we are no longer in the southeast. That's what they said. And our people keep forgetting for these terrorists and murderers to leave our land. It is Eastern, it's because of Eastern Security Network. That's the reason why. In case you don't know, IPOB made it possible. Do you know that it is only in the east, in Biafra land, that Miyetti Allah openly confessed and said, we no longer have a presence there in the whole of Nigeria. Only Biafra land. Do you know why they said it? Because we drove them away from there. Eastern Security Network drove them away from there. Do you understand? They said, but insecurity has persisted, despite the fact that we are no longer in the east. This is Miyetti Allah, the fourth most deadly terrorist group in the world, in the whole world. And I want Twitter to understand what I'm saying tonight. The fourth most deadly terror group in the world is Fulani headsmen. According to the Global Terror Index. Go and Google it. The only place Fulani said we are no longer moving our cattle, raping and killing people is on Biafra land. And which people made it possible? Who are the ones that made it possible? Intellectual among them, who made it possible? I'm asking you. Something that all of them couldn't have done. We formed ESN December of last year, and by May of the next year, Fulani confessed we are no longer in the southeast. Now tell me who is there killing people? Fulani soldiers, Fulani policemen, Fulani DSS. Because we defeated their foot soldiers, Miyetti Allah, they got upset. That is why you are seeing this level of disproportionate deployment of soldiers and police in the east. Fulani is upset. They have taken over parts of Yoruba land. They are comfortable. Can't you see that they are not worried about Yoruba agitation? They are not worried. They know where the problem is in the east. Are you following me? They are not in our forest, so if we find them, they are gone. They cannot be there, and they understand it. Fulani must know that we are more stubborn than they are. The only reason why it seems sometimes that Fulani, they have the leeway is because the Yorubas are afraid of them. Yoruba, not the Sunday Buhos of this world, they are very brave. Not the Ghanaians of this world are very brave. Fani Kayode, given what has been, very brave. Fayoshe, a very brave man. Yinko Dumakin, my late friend, a very brave man. And of course, Paya Debanjo, very, very brave. When that man speaks, I want to borrow him and bring him down to the east. Paya Debanjo. They have brave people there. But the rest, I don't know. I have no idea. Today, what they are doing by attacking Twitter and buying over Facebook, they want to change the narrative. The Fulani Janjaweed, they want to change the narrative. Every blessed day, they want the world to believe that we in the East are the aggressors, that they are just victims. And I want the world to ask them a simple question. Who were the sponsors and founders of Boko Haram? Who are the sponsors and founders of ISIS in West Africa? Before then, who are the founders and sponsors of Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb? Who are the sponsors of Ansaru? Who are the sponsors of Fulani headsmen, Miyetti Allah? Who are the sponsors of even the foreign bandits that I'm talking about? How many terror groups have I named for you now? All exclusively Fulani owned. Yet, their focus is in the East. I want the world to understand something today because all of you are listening. Nobody hates the police or the army anywhere in the world. But I need you to understand something, that in Nigeria, you don't have an army. What you have is a fully Fulanized terror machine in uniform. A gang of murderers in uniform. That's all we have. I'll prove it to you later. We are not going to allow the Fulani to change the narrative. That is why they're upset. They have managed to subdue everybody else in the zoo, apart from IPOB and ESN. They cannot, and they know they cannot. very oldest language on the face of this very earth.
Yes, I can say that from what I have just listened from you, it is just not ordinary.
Very wonderful.
When my lawyers came to see me, I had a discussion with them about how I'm going to defend myself. I told them that
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on today's program. I appreciate everyone that have connected, wherever you're connecting from. Like and share the program on your platform, share to family and friends, invite someone to come and join us on this very amazing program. I welcome everyone that have connected so far. I thank you all for joining. I can see our brother Uche Onyende, thank you so much for joining. Uchenna Victor, thank you for joining. And every other person that have joined there, like and share the program. Send it to your group, any group where you belong, share it there so that they can join us on this very discussion. It's very important. Remember, today is Monday, a special day for all of us in this course of the journey. Monday sit at home have continued and we are not going back. Regardless of what they say, what you hear, the truth remains that the memory of the sit at home must be kept alive. And I thank you, that there are so many Biafrans that are keeping this memory alive. Regardless of the propaganda that is going right, left, and center, the attack against our people and the intimidation, people are still keeping the memory alive. And I encourage those ones that are keeping the memory alive, wherever you are in Biafra land today, being Monday, and you are observing the sit at home, I say, may Chukwu continue to guide and protect you, secure you, and give you that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to continue to do what you have to do. Also protect you and give you the strength to continue to overcome. It is not easy. Remember, the sit at home has never been a forceful something. It was never forced. Up to this day, it has never been enforced. It is something that people have been doing willingly on their own, even though the government tried to push a propaganda that people were being forced, that people were being cajoled into it. But the case has been proven that people were not forced into sitting at home. The only people who were forced were the people who were forced to come out against their will. The only people that were enforcing is the government. We have seen the government enforcing people to come out to their businesses, including imposing sanctions, imposing fines and levies upon people for not coming out. It is only the government that has been forcing people by all means to honor the cancellation of the sit at home. But in all these things they have been doing, the Biafrans have continued to observe the sit at home in all the states of Biafra land. People are still observing it. And some of us who are still here, we will continue to keep that memory alive. We'll keep that memory alive to let people know that our request has not yet been granted. And there are reasons why we are doing what we are doing. We are still asking for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We are still asking for the self-determination of the Biafran people. We are still letting the world know that the political elites in Nigeria have lost legitimacy in Biafra land. We are still calling for Nigeria and calling on international communities to recognize that Biafrans should be on their own, recognize our self-referendum or conduct their own, so that we can be able to have decisions on what happens to us and how we live our life or how we exist. That is why the sit-at-home memory must be kept alive. Wherever you are, whatever you believe, in any group you are, continue to keep that memory alive. This is one of the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the legacy of our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko. Every Monday, you will be forced to remember Mazi Simon Ekpa, no matter how you try to take him away from the picture. No matter how you try to ignore his effects, you try to ignore his good work, every Monday you'll be forced to remember him. Every Monday. And I bet you he did a great job with that Monday sit at home. And that Monday sit at home kept the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on the limelight that the world could not turn away from it. Nigerian government could not walk away from it. They could not play it down. It continued to be a thorn in their flesh. And the Monday sit at home did a great job that only the people that denies the effect of Monday sit at home are those who are working for the government. So many of them today have shown what they are made of and what they are doing, and it is no longer something that is hidden. So I appreciate everyone that is keeping these lights on. May Chukwu Kabiam guide and protect all of you. Once again, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Every one of you, wherever you are joining from around the world, I welcome you. Thank you for tuning in to today's live stream. Today, we are discussing a topic that continues to generate intense debate, strong emotion, and deep reflection among many people across Nigeria, Africa, and the global community. Our discussion today is titled, Keeping Monday Sit at Home Memory Alive, the Media War Against Biafra, the Need for Focus, Responsibility, and Consistency. This is what we are discussing today, and we'll try as much as possible to do justice to this very topic. As always, this discussion is intended to encourage peaceful dialogue, civic engagement, critical thinking, and public awareness. I encourage everyone listening to remain respectful in comment section, regardless of political views, ethnic background, religious belief, or personal opinion, because at the end of the day, dialogue remains one of the most powerful tools available to any society. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are watching us from, friends and foes, the Monday Sit at Home phenomenon has become one of the most talked about political and social developments in contemporary Nigerian history. Regardless of where one stands politically, there is no denial that the movement has attacked national and international attention. Yes, it has attracted national and international attention. There's no doubt about that. For those of us who are in this course of the journey and fighting strong, it became a symbol of solidarity and remembrance. That is what it has become to us, the Monday Sit at Home. For those who criticize us, the critics of the cause of Biafra, it became a subject of controversy and debate. They continue to debate it, continue to give it a different kind of title to demonize it. For observers around the world, it became evidence that unresolved political questions continue to exist within Nigeria. That is important. So, sit at home is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. I mean, the one they sit at home. We will continue to keep that memory alive, no matter how they try. Today, years after the first widespread observance, many people continue to discuss what Monday sit at home represents, what lessons have been learned, and what its future significance might be. That's the discussion that's going on every day, every now and again. Every Monday, we continue to keep that discussion alive. We will not allow them to sweep it under the carpet or make it forgotten. No, it will never be forgotten. The reality is that movements are often remembered not merely because of action taken, but because of the issues they gave birth to then. That is why it is important we keep the memory alive. And that is where our conversation begins. Many supporters of the Biafran cause argue that the continued detention and legal battles surrounding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remain central to the concern. Of course, the continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria remains central to our concern. Not only the detention, they have gone ahead to convict him illegally and took him to Sokoto. And this is why we will not be silent. And every Monday, every genuine Biafran that cares must continue to keep this memory alive, to make sure that our voice is not swept under the carpet. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has no other voice except you and I. That is why I have volunteered to give my platform for him, give my platform for his voice to be heard, and I will continue to do so, regardless the number of time or number of days it takes. We believe the case symbolizes border questions. The case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu symbolizes broader questions relating to justice, political representation, constitutional right, and self-determination. You see why we cannot be silent. Others disagree and hold different perspectives regarding the matter. You are entitled to your opinion. However, regardless of individual opinion or facts, one fact remains clear. There is one fact that remains clear that you cannot deny. Whether you agree with those of us who are in this agitation or you don't, the conversation has not disappeared. The conversation of Biafra and the continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will never and has not disappeared. The debate continues. The question remains, the concern remains, the public interest remains. This is why many people speak about keeping the memory of sit at home alive. We must keep the memory of Monday sit at home alive if we must maintain the discussion on the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the discussion on the self-determination of Biafran people. This is one weapon that we have that we must hold dear to ourselves. And many Biafrans understand that. That is why today, even with the other attack, all the lies, propaganda, they are still sitting at home. Not necessarily as a matter of physical action, but as a remembrance that certain political and legal questions remain unresolved in the mind of many citizens. History teaches us something important. Every major social movement, because people preserve memory. We must not allow the memory of the Monday sit at home to die. It is doing a lot, and we continue to do a lot. Memory is powerful. Memory shapes identity. Memory influences public discourse. Memory keeps conversation alive. Without memory, movement fades. Without memory, history becomes vulnerable to distortion. Without memory, future generations lose valuable lessons. That is why supporters of the Biafran cause, those of us who are speaking on a daily basis around the world, we often emphasize on remembrance. There must be a remembrance. There must be a remembrance to keep the history alive. Not because we wish to live in the past, no, but because we believe the past contains lessons that can influence the future. That is why keeping memory alive is important. It's very important because the past contains lessons that can influence the future, wherever you are watching this program from. One of the greatest battles in modern political struggle is no longer fought on traditional battlefield. That is the truth. It is fought in the information space. The greatest battle in this generation today is fought in the information space, and that is where we have a responsibility. That is why we are coming online on a daily basis, no matter how difficult it is. In the modern political struggle, battles are fought no longer on the traditional battlefield. Battles are fought in information space. That is one of the major battles that we are engaged in today. One of the major battles that the Biafrans will not overlook, information space. Nigeria has continued to fight on that aspect, to distort information, to create a narrative that doesn't exist, to change perspectives and draw public opinion away from us and put it on themselves. And we will not allow that to happen. Information space, very, very important. Battles are fought through narrative today. The present battle is fought through narratives. Battles are fought today through narrative. You see Nigerian government every time trying to create a narrative to place the Biafrans as the aggressors. They continue to speak about ESN, even when we know that ESN no longer exists. There is no longer an ESN anywhere led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The ESN of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was infiltrated and they handed them over to the government. Some of them joined the Bobago. Some of them joined different kinds of security outfits. And Mazi Nnamdi was able to rescue some and made them the Liberation Army. The Liberation Army are the only ones that are still intact. But ESN never exists. But for Nigerian government to push a narrative that suits their lies and their propaganda, they will always bring up ESN. Today they will tell you they invaded ESN camp. Next day, ESN camp. When they invade a group or cultist group or whatever, each time they want to push a narrative for their propaganda, they tell you ESN. Because it serves their narrative to paint Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a troublemaker. So that narrative is one of the major ways wars are fought today. The battle against Biafra is fought by the Nigerian government through the narrative they push. And these are why we must be online and speak sensibly, in organized manner, present our matter, and make sure that we debunk these lies. There is no ESN anywhere that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu put in place. After the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a lot of things happened. The ex-DOS handed them over to Nigerian government, to Soludo and co., which Soludo himself confessed. Soludo confessed that they agreed to work with him. And during that time, Soludo also said they took over some camps. And this ex-DOS came out now and said that they have handed, the governors came to them and told them to hand over the ESN, and they did. So I don't know why somebody will still come and begin to talk about ESN. Those who refused to join them then were rescued by Mazi Nnamdi, and they were changed from ESN to the Liberation Army. These are the people that are still existing today, and they are still in their camps. When they try to take them over, they begin to push different kinds of blackmail and propaganda. They even use some members of the former ESN to blackmail them. Conducted so many false flag operations. They conducted so many false flags. When they conduct it, they will paint it and say it is the Liberation Army. We saw this over and over and over again. We saw it happen several times and so many times. There are video evidence to it. There are people that were arrested and they confess to it. But yet, they decide to continue to blackmail and push a narrative through the media. And we are always here, even with our little audience, to continue to debunk what they're saying and push the right message. That is why it is important each time you join a program, like and share. You never know who is going to be touched. You never know the extent the message is going to get. You never know the soul that is going to be saved because of your message. You never know how far the information you are passing is going. So we must not allow the narrative of the enemies to take over the truth. That is why we must continue to speak at all times. We must continue to push the right narrative and straighten it the way it should be. So narrative is one of the way wars are being fought. Nigeria uses it very, very well. They have pushed so many narratives against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, blackmailing the Liberation Army, the ESN, whatever, blackmailing everything that has to do with Biafra. They create different narratives. And people tend to believe it because of their conventional media. But we in the social media do our best to debunk those lies. And that is why we are here consistently. Another way that wars are fought in this recent day now is headlines. You see different kinds of headlines. Those headlines are targeted at the Biafrans, targeted at changing narrative, targeted at changing information and driving people's mind from what is actually happening to something else. Just like the recent narrative that they are pushing, that you see the recent headline that many media were pushing that the Fulanis are ethnically profiled in the communities where they live. And when you hear that title, you see that headline, Fulani profiled in communities where they live, and you think they truly live in communities. Fulanis do not live in our communities. They don't. They don't live in our communities. There is no Fulani in our communities anyway. They don't live in our communities. But they use those narratives to preach a message to convince you. They use those titles through their media. That is how war is fought this day. To paint you evil. The media recently, almost all the media in Nigeria, are saying that Fulanis are moving out from the south because they are ethnically profiled. They are moving out from the communities of the south. That is how they wrote it in their headline. Go and check both Punch, Vanguard, their headline. Fulani is profiled in the communities where they live. And because of that, they are all living in the south. When you read that headline, what will come to your mind is that Fulanis are truly living in the communities in the south. There is no single Fulani living in the community of the south. The Fulanis we know are those who are illegally occupying the forest. From there, conducting all manner of atrocities and crime, including kidnapping and collecting of ransom. Well armed in the forest. Do you call that a community? Do you by any way call that a... Many of you have seen the videos that have emerged, and I'm going to play one of those videos. I'm going to play one of the videos, and I want you to pay attention to this video I'm about to play. How far the Fulanis have gone to create a community for themselves in our own land, in other communities. But when the Nigerian government is reporting and their media, they will use a different narrative, a different title that will convince somebody who is not from Nigeria or somebody who doesn't know what is happening to somehow believe that the Fulanis are actually being profiled or they are being intimidated simply because of whom they are. But that is not truth. That is a lie from the pit of hell. As I said before, there are no Fulanis in our communities in Biafra land. Not just in Biafra land, in most of the southern part of Nigeria and even this middle belt. Fulanis do not live in communities. All they do is they come to your land, occupy your land by force, create a community for themselves, and then continue to prepare their evil. But instead of the media to report this in that way, the media will come and tell you that Fulanis are living the places in the south because they are ethnically profiled. That is a lie. That is a lie. And you ask me, why is it that the government media is telling such a lie? What do they intend to gain? What do they intend to gain? You'll be asking, what is their gain? Why would they push out lie? If you're not paying attention, you will not understand why. The reason they are pushing that lie is still because of the one single agenda: the Fulani invasion, the Fulanization of Nigeria, and the Islamization of Nigeria. That is what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But the truth is that they don't live in our communities. They don't live in our communities. And I want to show you evidence of how they live.
Nobody wait there. Nobody wait there. Where we go message?
What you are seeing here,
Can't even
what you are watching here now,
have their contact.
is a Fulani community in a thick forest in Delta State. Fulani, when they say Fulani in the community, they are not in our community. This is people, they went in a forest in Delta State and created a community for themselves. In that community, they operate all manner of attacks from there. They create a place for them. Before you know it, you'll be told that you have Fulani Deltas. This is how they operate. And the government does not want to do anything about it. Instead, when they report it, they will tell you that Fulanis who are living in southern communities are migrating, and they are living because of ethnic profiling. These people you see here are not living in our community. We know how our communities are. What you are going to watch here is a forest, a thick forest. They went in the middle of the forest and they created a home for themselves. It is not our community. Watch.
Nobody wait there. Nobody wait there. Where we go message?
No. Can't even contact them or another. I don't even have their contact. I don't even know that this place is as big as this. This is a community.
A community they created for themselves.
Oh my God. Here go.
For those who are watching on TikTok, you may not see the video. I'm going to share it later on TikTok.
Mba now.
Also, those watching on Facebook, you won't see it. Only those who are watching me on YouTube can be able to see the video.
This is complete community. This is entire Fulani community in this place.
You can imagine a community that they've created for themselves. You can imagine in the middle of the forest.
Wow.
In the middle of the forest. They are accountable to no one.
How come
they are not accountable to anyone? They just create a community for themselves in someone's land.
Oh my God.
Imagine.
Can you imagine the entire Fulani community?
Imagine. In the middle of the forest.
Oh.
And you'll be wondering how do they come? Where are they coming from?
How do they ensure their security? Nimofiani.
Look at silly question. How they ensure their security? There is no insecurity in the forest. They are the insecurity themselves.
Hi, Kati. How are you?
You're asking how they ensure security? Is there any insecurity in our forest? No, it is the Fulani that is the insecurity themselves. So how can you be asking how do they ensure their security? It's a very silly question to ask. So I just show this for you to know how far these people have gone to take over our land or occupy places. And when they push those narratives on the media and tell you about Fulani communities being profiled, there is no Fulani community profile anywhere because they are not in our communities. They are not, have never been. So this kind of headlines that you will continue to see in the media doesn't make sense. It's just part of the war. It's just part of the war to change narrative. That is how the present day war is being fought. And the Nigerian government, under the Fulani control, is using all manner of weapons, including the media space, information, narrative, headlines, and the social media to fight their battle. Social media, very important. Wars are fought today through public perceptions. Public perception. That is why sometimes when you see things, you don't be silent. When you see information, don't be silent. You can share by your own self, you can share it. Your sharing it can go a long way. Can go a long way to save a life. You don't know the effect of sharing information. Social media today is very powerful. It can help to create perceptions. It can help to educate people. It can help to draw sympathy to a cause. That is why it is important. Once you see a program that is very, very well put together, not saga or attack, that it has information to pass, share it. Share it so that others will get information. Today's information travels faster than ever before. Maybe you don't know. Information travels faster than ever before. A single video can reach millions. A single statement can influence public opinion. A single image can shape narrative across continents. This reality has created what many analysts describe as information warfare. That is where we are today. That is how war is fought today. And that is what the Biafran people are going through. That is why you must use your social media handle wisely. That's why we come hard on those idiots who claim to be Biafrans, Igbos more especially. And yet, all they do with their platform is attack Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, attack IPOB, attack the Biafra agitation. When we see those who use their platform to do that, that is why we come hard on them. Because they are working for the enemies. They are working for the enemies. People like the one that called himself Yambaba. The one that called himself Yambaba, who can even gamble with his own family. A man that doesn't have respect for his family. You couldn't have respect for that person. A man that doesn't have respect for his own family, how would he have respect for? But using Biafra as a content will be the greatest nemesis that will come upon him. He better go back to using his family to create his content. That's the best thing for him to do. Let him go back to creating content with his family, the one they call Yambaba, and leave Biafra issue alone. Leave Mazi Nnamdi Kanu alone. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not meant to be used to create nonsensical content, idiotic content, all for your selfish interest, for monetary gain. Every political movement seeks to tell its story. Every government seeks to present its position. Every stakeholder seeks to influence public understanding. The challenge is that in such environment, misinformation, exaggeration, propaganda, emotional manipulation can easily spread. That is why social media presence is very important. If you have your presence there, use it wisely. Use it wisely. This is why responsibility becomes essential for us, those of us in this agitation. If advocates want credibility, they must be prioritized accuracy. If commentators want influence, they must prioritize facts. Just like the idiot called Yambamba, he wants influence, he wants to be known. And Neka, they want to be known. You must prioritize facts. Present facts and figures, not propaganda, blackmail, which they are known for. If movements want legitimacy, they must prioritize truth. It's only because of the truth of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafran struggle. That is why he is still standing. That is why he is so indestructible. That is why the Biafran cause, even when you take out all the criminals, the ex-DOS who think they are in charge. Even when they have pulled out, today they are on their own. They are on their own. For us, we are under the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's IPOB. That is where we are. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, the one he created, that is one we are on. I don't have time for anything called IPOB under DOS, Department of Sabotage. If you're part of IPOB under DOS, shame on you. You should be ashamed of yourself. If you're part of any IPOB under DOS, yes, you should be ashamed of yourself. You have been left behind. IPOB under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today is chaired by 100 men. 100 men comprises of all the Biafran agitating group. The 100 men comprise of all the Biafran agitating group. Nobody is exempted. Nobody is exempted. The DOS, of course, you know they are not agitating for Biafra. It's clear. So they can't be included. Saboteurs are not included. If movements want legitimacy, they must prioritize truth. Because credibility is difficult to build and easy to lose. A movement that values facts becomes stronger. A movement that ignores facts becomes vulnerable. A movement that encourages discipline becomes respectful. A movement that embraces recklessness damages its own objectives. That is why in the Biafra, today's Biafra restoration, those are not allowed. It's not acceptable. Credibility, truth, and facts. You must have it first of all. You must have credibility. You must have truth on your side. You must speak facts. Don't lie simply because you want to score a point. Don't lie. Even your enemy, you don't need to lie against him. No need to lie. We have more than enough truth to tell for our case. We have more than enough truth to make our case. Why must you lie? Why must you lie? And those who are lying are those who are trying to score a point to make themselves acceptable to the Biafran people, to make themselves feel as if they are doing something when they are doing nothing. This brings us to very important points. The need for focus. One of the greatest threats to any movement is distraction. Distraction comes in many forms. We have seen it over and over again. Distraction coming from right, left, and center. Internal conflicts, personal attack, rumors, ego battle, misinformation, unverified claim, emotional reaction. These distractions consume energy that could otherwise be directed towards meaningful advocacy. But instead of having time to channel it, we spend that time on nonsense. Throughout history, successful movements maintain focus on their central objective. The central objective of the Biafran agitation is what? Self-determination. Self-determination. That's the central objective. It doesn't matter what you give yourself, the title you call yourself, the group you belong, the name you call yourself. Self-determination is our central focus. Self-determination is a central focus, and you must not look away from it. Social movement maintain focus on central objective. We have to understand that the emotional reaction may generate temporary attention, but really creates sustainable results. Understand that. Strategic thinking creates results. Strategic thinking creates results, not emotions. Consistency creates results. Organization creates results. Focus creates results. We must always remember this. Don't look down on this. Very important. The media environment today rewards speed. Everyone wants to be first. Yeah, everybody wants to be first. You want to be, let it be you are the one that said it first, so that the media environment can reward you. And this is one of the reasons people push false information, lies, and propaganda. They don't have time to verify. They just want you to be hard and say that I am the first one that did this. I am the first one that said this. I am the first one. Simply because the media environment today rewards speed. Everyone wants to be fast. Everyone wants to be views. Everyone wants views. Everyone wants engagement. Everyone wants attention. But responsible advocacy requires something different. If you are making a responsible report, it requires something different. It is not about who said it first. It is not about views. It is not about engagement. It requires patience. It requires verification. It requires discipline. It requires integrity. These are how to make a responsible report. Before sharing information, verify it. Before repeating a rumor, investigate it. Before publishing a claim, confirm it. Before reacting emotionally, evaluate the evidence. These principles are not signs of weakness. But we know people see it as a sign of weakness. When they come there, they don't see you. They don't see millions of people with you watching. They don't see you giving them the breaking news. They see it as weakness. They prefer those places because of people who are asking for social media attention. They prefer to go along with the content creators that drags you close with a title that doesn't make any sense. But I tell you, when you obey these principles and follow accordingly, verifying properly your informations, keeping your emotions aside, don't chase views and viewers. The principles are not signs of weakness. They are signs of maturity. It only shows that you've gotten matured in this cause. In fact, responsible communication strengthens more cause because serious audience pay attention to credible voices. Serious audience, they only pay attention to credible voices. International organizations pay attention to credible voices. Researchers pay attention to credible voices. Journalists pay attention to credible voices. Decision makers pay attention to credible voices. Credibility matters a lot. Credibility matters. Another challenge facing many political movements, including the Biafra struggle today, is fatigue. People become tired. As in our cause today, many are tired. Many are discouraged. Many are frustrated. Many are very impatient. But this is understandable also, because we know the process is not fast. The process of the restoration of Biafra, if you think it's going to be in a snap of finger, no, it's not. It's going to take time. And people are going to be fatigued. People are going to drop along the road. We know it's not strange. Legal process also move slowly. We know. It's not something that goes fast. It's slow. Institution changes often move slowly. But history teaches us that meaningful change often requires persistence. Consistency is not exciting. It's not exciting. Consistency is not exciting. Consistency is not glamorous. That's the one thing people do fail to understand. When you hear Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say, consistency is the key. Yes, consistency is the key, but consistency is not exciting. Consistency is not glamorous. Consistency really generates headlines. Do you understand that? Consistency really generates headlines. Yet, consistency remains one of the most powerful forces in public affairs. Showing up constantly matters. Speaking consistently matters. Educating consistently matters. Engaging consistently matters. Learning consistently matters. Improving consistently matters. Every movement on the planet Earth grows through consistency. IPOB, the Biafran agitation today have grown through consistency. Communities grow through consistency. Individuals grow also through consistency. We must also discuss the importance of unity. Very important. There's nothing we can do without it. Unity does not mean everyone agreed on everything. I repeat it again. I've said it over and over and over and over again. That unity doesn't mean that we must agree on everything. That is impossible. Even within families, disagreement exists. Even within organizations, disagreement exists. Even within political parties, disagreement exists. What matters is whether people can disagree respectfully while remaining focused on common objectives. That is the only thing that matters, most importantly. We must not allow division, because division weakens momentum. Division creates confusion. Division creates opportunity for opponents to exploit differences. Unity, on the other hand, creates strength. Unity creates clarity. Unity creates resilience. Unity creates purpose. This is why responsible leadership is important. We must be very careful. We must be very careful whom we follow, where we go. Responsible leaders encourage dialogue. You must be very careful who you follow. Responsible leaders encourage education. Responsible leaders encourage discipline. Responsible leaders encourage strategic thinking, not the one that will tell you to follow sheepishly. You don't have to question, just follow. No. Responsible leaders encourage strategic thinking. They allow you to think, use your brain, think on your own, argue where possible, bring your own opinion. Responsible leaders encourage accountability. You must be very careful where you belong and whom you are following. Wherever you are watching this program, I want you to always remember that there is need for all of us to continue to keep the memory of the sit at home alive. The memory of the self-determination, the demand for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must continue. As we conclude today's discussion, let us remember a few important points. First, public memory remains an important aspect of political and social movement. Secondly, information and media play a significant role in shaping public perception. Don't forget that. This is why we come online every day. Thirdly, credibility depends on accuracy, discipline, and responsibility. If you want people to see you as credible, if you want to show yourself as credible, there must be accuracy in your report. There must be discipline. There must be responsibility. Fourth, focus is essential to long-term effectiveness. We must remain focused. Every one of us as Biafrans, we must remain focused. We must remain focused. It is not optional. It is a must. It is a must. Fifth, consistency often achieves more than emotional reaction. Some of us today, all we have is emotional reaction and nothing else. Consistency often achieves more than emotional reaction. And finally, unity, maturity, and constructive engagement remains valuable principle in any democratic conversation. We must keep up that room for unity, maturity, constructive engagement. That room must be open. It doesn't matter who is involved. That room must be open. A room for unity, room for maturity, a room for constructive engagement. Whether you support the Biafran cause, or you oppose it, or remain undecided, one thing is certain: the conversation continues. The question continues. The debate continues. The history continues to unfold before your eyes. we must not keep silent, and we must not allow ourselves to be used and abused in this cause. For those of us who do not know, everything that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has fought for and cried for, it is happening today. And people are now doing the same thing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have called us to do. And some of us tagged him different kinds of names because of that. The reason Mazi Nnamdi Kanu created the ESN was nothing but to secure our land. One of the reasons Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today is serving life sentence is because of the ESN. But today there is call from all angles, all directions, call for defense of our Biafra land. The same message that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu preached, and many people that are making that call today called him evil. They called him a troublemaker. Today, they are making the same call. I want to play some certain videos. I want you to pay attention to these videos I'm going to play so that you can see the path the zoo is taking today. I want you to pay attention so you can see that the same thing that our supreme leader asked for and they call for his head, finally, that has become the only solution to the situation in the zoological republic.
Oh, I say, I tell you, Kachibo. Here, Garime, every kitchen again on a ransom na lopa. I have for Hanisha. Oh, told you. But I got a hand na go to. I have to have one more here because about where Beckani. I have walked one in a charge, even our honorable house member, Ropa here. I have sent back. I go on where has I with 12 million naira. I have 180 and I give you 12 million naira. I have to take an idea. By the time I will be who you to my wife, you to Dinabia. I won't be judging on one here. Hey, be her also. I will tell you. I the vigilante and forest guard. Man, you more soup. Man, that by here.
These are a group of youths that came out to secure their land. People were kidnapped in Abia State. And they could not wait and say they wait for governor, they wait for president. They went out and they went and rescued their citizens that were kidnapped by the Fulanis. They went into the forest, challenged them, went there, rescued their people, and came back. And they are encouraging others to do the same, protect their land. And this was why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu formed the ESN, to secure a land from these terrorists. Because the government will not secure you, neither will they protect you. The video you're watching is a testimony of a group of people who did it. A village in Abia State that did it. And they were able to rescue their own people from the hand of the Fulanis. For those who will come and tell you that the terrorists are not Fulanis, the terrorists are Igbo. These are distractors. These are idiots that are distracting us. And this bunch of people that are distracting the discussion are sponsored by Seibo. We are going to come to that. Soludo is one of the major distractors. And we will never be silent about that. Let us listen to their report.
Ransom na lopa. I have for Hanisha. I will tell you. But I got a hand na go to. I have to have one more here because about where Beckani. I have walked one in a charge, even our honorable house member, Ropa here. I have sent back. I go on where has I with 12 million naira. I have 180 and I give you 12 million naira. I have to take an idea. By the time I will be who you to my wife, time ahụ ebubo ụmụ yutu ji na-abịa ha ebi ha n'ụzọ anyị na-asịkwa na anyị na-ekele ndị ọhụhụ vigilante and forest guard ma ndị ụmụ osu ma ndị akpahịa ma ndị ụmụ ire ndị ụmụ ụda ndị nọ na-etu onye ekwela ụzọ onye ekwela ụzọ aga ama m na anyị mmemme okwu otu anyị si mere anyị ndị aka ga-ahụkwa ha n'ọhịa na but however this will tell us that the enemies are closer. Yes. The enemies are within us. Here Menengata is not different from what happened in Oyo State. Yes. And for them to make a point, here before furnish, can I make what demands one marker? But we cannot tolerate such in our place. Oh yeah, Mereneji and Weku Mokorodi. Youth from the strength we have shown this night, it shows that we are still in unity. Because this is time I may address collectively. Because we cannot allow you to come and grace. You know what I can and Yaga was a kidnapping. So we are going to end any form of herdsmen activity. We are going to, because listen, if you understand how Nigerians security architecture works, you have to protect yourself before the come. And if we don't protect ourselves and our children and our mothers, I don't think we imagine if that woman had slept there. They could have raped her, messed her up. Yeah, what? Now get busy no job. So we are going to stop every activities of headers. On your at any hour. Make call at any hour. And we have to form a very strong vigilante. And vigilante will if you see a strange face, because one thing Otisha man there, I get dress your time dress. They must wear a jacket. They must wear jackets. Le hanyami and totoha, ega hona my hair shave will be. Hand on him more hair for a long time. So once we see people looking like that and they are not on safe pass, so they're always on shoot. Let's always ask them questions. Search them. Nobody will come to us now. Search when I was huge. So please, I hear Saranya. I got my say honorable Koto Franya, honorable Biko.
Thank you for your brief.
Our mano. Mano. I didn't want to get talk. I go. I see like us. They my woman come I don't know that I'm going to go in there. Huh? I don't know. See them my woman make up woman. I want to know. I was sure to be one name and name. Yes. I think what you mean. I can't do it. I need
You have seen it. This is a very appreciated move that was made by this group, and we are able to secure the release of their people who were being kidnapped. And many other communities in Biafra land is advised to do the same. Create a security group that can be able to protect you and defend you. Create a group that can be able to stand up for you and make sure that you are being protected. Try as much as possible to do what you have to do to secure your region. They went by themselves and they rescued the ones that were kidnapped by the terrorists, Fulanis. The people that are doing the kidnapping is the terrorist Fulanis, no one else. When you see Soludo and co try to distract people to deviate attention from the real problem, don't buy into that. Nigeria is not a nation. It has gone and gone for good. This was why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was calling for the security of Biafra land, for people to rise up and secure our land. And they took him and arrested him. Today, the same call he made, many of them are making it. Many of them today are making the same call. Many people are making the same call that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made, and they called him evil. The same call today are being made in the public. Not only in Biafra land, in all parts of the country, people are making the same call that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made, calling for people to defend themselves, to protect themselves. And this is the time for everybody to heed that call. I want you to listen to this one.
The time has come for Ndibo to rise up and bear arms.
Did you hear that? The person that is speaking here is a senator. He's a senator from the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu community, the one that always come to court to stand beside Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He is making the call openly that it is time for we to bear arms. It is time for Igbos to bear arms to defend themselves. This is not something that has to be hidden anymore. It is not something, but this is the call that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was telling us to prepare before it is late. And now it's almost like it is almost late. It is late. You are calling for people to bear arms, but this thing was put in place by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You destroyed it. Mazi Simon Ekpa came also to put the same thing in the plan. Put together the Liberation Army of Biafra, equip them to protect our land against terrorists. They were not there to attack any innocent Biafran or any innocent visitor or any innocent person. Whether you are Hausa, Igbo, or Yoruba, the Liberation Army were not there to attack any innocent person. They were not attacking any innocent person. Every propaganda video you have seen, every blackmail against them and false flag that were turned against them have no basis, has nothing to do with them. They have never been involved in taking innocent life in any way. But somehow, the Nigerian government entered and manipulated people, and people bought into their story, and they destroyed a defense that we are supposed to be building. A defense that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu build. Instead of holding it together, they destroyed it. Mazi Simon Ekpa came, put them together, they destroyed it. And now, look at senators telling us it is time for all Igbos to bear arms. Where are you going to get the arms from? Where are you going to get the arms from? And when we talk about bearing arms, remember the people that we are going to bear these arms to with. These are people that are coming with AK-47. They are coming with automatic machine gun. They are coming with GMG and SMG. Different kinds of machine gun they are coming with. Don't tell me you are telling people to go and get the Bobara. You get the Bobara, the cock and bull, and you just cock and shoot. Local gun. To face somebody with AK-47, an automatic machine gun. But these are problems that we have solved. We have solved it and put a solution. And they either intentionally or ignorantly destroyed it. And now they call it men, even in the open. You think it is easy? You think it is genuine? You think it's possible? Let's hear him what he had to say. Pay attention and hear what he had to say.
I bet you work a government protect you and I was the time has come for Ndibo to rise up and bear arms. As an insurgency that is coming to Alibu. And I ain't going to go to one and because I do one and destroy us by kidnapping us. Just last night, Nala, now Omawa, a woman and the boy Keke, they were kidnapped. Till today, already almost 5 weeks. Amechi, Uche Amechi. Till today, for almost 5 weeks, I have done everything humanly possible through the DSS, Mali police, but one had it very slow. But what I'm saying is that I need a blanket. Yeah, I never know you. Yeah, I never every other place. Open it here, Nalibu. And I am going to blanket. So we must rise in defense of our Libu. We must rise in defense of your families and for the communities of the Libu. When we are rising up to defend our people, and I am there to help to defend our people. Then lastly,
as it stands today, it is only Abia State that is passing the right message. This is Abia State. Only Abia State that is passing the right message. You cannot hear this kind of message in Anambra State. Never. You can't hear this message in Anambra State. Once Soludo is busy, is chasing pastors and native doctors up and down. Meanwhile, Soludo cannot go after the terrorists that are in the forest kidnapping his people. The only thing he's interested in is just pursuing his own people. And I ask you, how long are we going to continue to accept this madness? How long? How long will this madness continue? How long are you going to continue to accept this madness? If you are not yet ready and prepared, they are going to take you out before you know it. It's going to come in such a way that you will not even have the chance. You won't even have the chance to have a second thought. You won't even have the chance to remove anything. You might not even have the chance to save yourself, let alone saving someone else. That is why it is very important for people to pay close attention. Your defense is in your hand. Only you can save yourself. Nobody will save you. Nobody will save you. So many groups are springing up. Some of them with their political intention, with their political motive. I don't care what your motive might be. What matters to us today is how to save life. What matters to us today is how to make sure that our land is not taken over by the Fulanis. What matters today is to make sure that what is happening in Oyo will not happen in our land. That is the most important thing to us today. So if you have a political motive why you are doing what you are doing and saying what you are saying, it is up to you. I come across another video that I'm about to play. Let us listen to the report that these ones had and what they said and try to make sense out of it, even though they might have a political undertone in their speech. But at the end of the day, my interest is how to save life. Because as it stands today, nobody is there to fight for you or to fight for me. Nobody is there to protect our families. It is only we that can protect ourselves. So every initiative to protect our land, I'm going to promote it and I will support it. It doesn't matter whatever tone you have under it. We will be alive before we go back to our land. Let us listen to what this report these people have.
Igbo youth movements. They have a strong message to all the Nigerians. Igbo youth movements.
Greetings all over the world. My name is Justice Ozobi. This is a Igbo youth movement. And we want to inform the general body, the entire Nigeria, about our stand in this country. First of all, concerning insecurity, we the Igbo Youth Movement comprises all the whole 5 states in Igbo land and across Igbo land, which is included Delta states, Edo, and River states. The people you are seeing here are the leaders of all local governments of Igbo Youth Movement, all leaders of all the whole local governments. First of all, we want to talk about the insecurity in Igbo land. We are demanding that every youth in Igbo land should participate in their village security. It is very, very important that every youth in Igbo land should join their state and community security. Number 2, we want to tell the whole Nigerians concerning police brutality and extortion in Igbo land. We are also demanding for an end to police brutality and extortion from Anambra State mostly, and Ebonyi State in particular, where we are having series of complaints about police brutality on our people, and we demand an end to it. We are calling on our governors, all the whole governors in Eastern Region, to please put an end to this police brutality and extortion of our youth. Failing to do so, we are also going to write a petition to the IG of Police and also to the heads of House of Rep in Igbo land.
That is where I talk about political undertone and misinformation. You are talking about police brutality, and at the same time, you are talking about reporting to Nigerian whatever. There is no report that you are going to put forward to Nigeria that is going to see the daylight. These are the same people that are creating the problem. The same people that are bent on making you and I suffer. The same people that are responsible for what is going on in Biafra land. The same people that are extorting the youth. And there you are. You want to go and report to Inspector General of Police about extortion of the Igbo people, Igbo youths. Is that not a wasted effort? Is that not a misplaced priority? You have spoken on insecurity for the youth to join a security outfit or any vigilante group they have in their city to protect their land. Well understood. You talk about the issue of extortion, the abuse of the police in Biafra land. Understood, right? But when you come to say you are going to, you call out the governors, more especially Anambra State, Seibo in Anambra State is the leader of the extortion and destruction of the Igbo youth. The destruction of the entire Biafra land. Seibo is leading, and he has been able to recruit so many youths to join him in disorganizing and destabilizing the Igbo youth. You call their name, and at the end of the day, say you want to go and report to IG. You want to go and report to Seibo to Inspector General of Police, or you want to go and report to who? The police that are extorting you. This is where I say this is beating about the bush, and no sensible person can say this because you know it's a wasted effort. But at the same time, I understand, being that you are in the Zoological Republic, you have to still put your statement the way people in the zoo put their statement. It's understandable. So let's listen and see the rest statement that he has.
Third, we will write petition to the heads of House of Rep and the rest. We are also demanding the right of our people in all the whole Nigeria, the right to vote. We are demanding the right for our people to vote. We are warning MC Oluomo and the rest, who always intimidate, harass our people, stopping them from participating in their own lawful rights. We are demanding an end to it. In this coming election, 2027, we are demanding an end to harassment. Any attempt to hinder the vote of our people, we will also retaliate from the East. We are not holding your people not to vote in the East. You must also allow our people to participate on their lawful rights in Nigeria. Last one, we are also...
This is another one. When you talk, why not you speak about abuse of your rights, human rights? Focus on abuse of the human rights. It's not just about voting. The rights of the people are being abused on a daily basis, on different platforms, on different categories, different levels, not just on vote. At the same time, I still understand you are in the zoo. Each time people from that Zoological Republic present their matters, we know how they push it forward. You understand? But at the same time, The human right abuse is something that has to be talked about. The abuse of the right of an Igbo man in Nigeria is not even regarded as an abuse anymore. Even the international community doesn't see it as an abuse. All the way from the Civil War, they never see anything against us as an abuse or a cause or an attack. No, it's not seen as such. So you have good points you are presenting, but the manner and the way you are presenting this makes me understand there is a political undertone on it, but I don't have any problem with it. The most important thing I'm about to say that I care about is the protection of lives and property of our people. Whatever anybody can contribute to see that lives are preserved and the properties of people are preserved, it is welcome. And while the person is pushing it, we'll be trying to adjust them and give them the right information on what to do. Go ahead.
Demanding to know who is the head of SEDC, right?
Yes. Southeast Development Committee. Commission.
We are demanding to know who is in charge and what have they achieved in Igbo land since the organization was formed. We, the Igbo youth, we are demanding an accountability, or we will march down to their office, because the Nigerian government has provided for us something that is rightfully belongs to us, and we need an accountability for it. Failing to do so, we will march to the office. I will not be so. No.
Thank you very much. Southeast Development Commission is a scam. Southeast Development Commission is a scam. If you don't know that by now, it means you are not informed. You're uninformed. As I said before, at the same time, I understand you are in the zoo, so you can put your statement the way you want it. But I tell you, Southeast Development Commission is a scam. And there has never been any place where that commission works. Go and check the Niger Delta Development Commission. Have it worked? In Niger Delta case, have it worked? All they do there is they give them the money. The people that are being operated and manipulated by the Fulani will share the money among themselves. And the people will make noise, and they settle one or two people, and that is all. You stop talking about it. Any development commission, it doesn't work. It has never worked. It did not work in the Southwest. It didn't work in the South-South, their so-called South-South. It never worked in anywhere at all. Even in the North, it didn't work. It never worked. Even in the North, where they are talking about the Boko Haram issue and all this, whatever, reintegration, it never worked anywhere. At the end of the day, a certain group of people will take this money to themselves, pay few people, just as you are now talking. Before you know it, they are going to invite you as the leader of the group. They will invite you. How many of you there? How many of you there? Well, a little amount can settle all of you, and you now stop talking. And let it not be that that is what you are seeking for, because from all the statements you made, we know there is a political undertone to what you're saying. But any sensible person should know that Development Commission has never worked. And you cannot checkmate it. This is intentionally put in place by the caliphate. And they know that the people that are going to take the money are those they want to manipulate. They will allow them to steal that money in order to control them. Nothing is going to come out of it. All these Okal that is ranting and shouting and other senators, all these people they are part of the plan. They are part of the plan. They are part of the plan. They do not want to develop anything in Southeast. All the way since after the Civil War, they talked about the 3R: reintegration, reconstruction, and rehabilitation. None was implemented. Instead of rehabilitating the Biafra land, where was the center of the war, they were rehabilitating Lagos State. The money that was marked up for rehabilitation, instead of going to Biafra land, the center of the theater of the war, they went to Lagos and they were rehabilitating Lagos. So this thing did not start today. All this development commission, this are commission, that the intention is never to make it succeed. They have a different plan altogether. So if you are there claiming to be the leaders of the youth in the Southeast today, and you don't know about this thing, I wonder what you have in your brain. At the same time, I understand you are in the zoo. But I hope you will know better and know that these things you are talking about, many people have been spoken about it, and nothing come out of it. These things were what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was fighting for. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu literally told them, go and get something for our people, not for me. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, go and get something for our people, not for me. I don't want anything for myself. If he wanted anything for himself, today, even in detention, even in the life sentence, many promises have been given to him. Many positions have been given to him. All you well have been promised. He rejected everything. And you think that thing that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu could not be able to get forced out of the politicians, you think that you are the one that will come and get it out from the politicians? You are a joker. You are just joking. You are just joking. I feel you shouldn't even talk about this Southeast Development Commission. Bringing this Southeast Development Commission into this discussion has spoiled the whole thing. It will make people not to believe whatever you groups are forming there, because Southeast Development Commission that we know is an organization of the Fulanis, and there is nothing you can do to checkmate them. There's nothing you can say. Each time you call them out, you are only calling for their attention to give you your own share. That is it. You should focus on the security of our Biafra land, security of your land. If you can join your own security outfit in your land, your vigilante group or whatever, form a formidable vigilante group to make sure you take charge of your territories. That should be the area you focus. Forget about this, your development, whatever. This is just only that message alone will discourage people from supporting whatever you are saying. That message will discourage people from whatever you're saying. I'm not saying that the message is wrong, it's not true. It is the truth, but the motive behind it and what is going to result. It is that message now, this last message that will destroy this organization that you don't form. Go and mark it anywhere. This last message will destroy this Southeast Youth, whatever you call it. This Southeast Youth organization that you form, with all these people I'm seeing there, what will destroy it in this last part of the message where you're talking about Southeast Development Fund that involved billions of naira. That is where your end is going to come. I wish you didn't talk about it, but at the same time, Chukwu Okike knows how to expose certain things. Let us listen to him.
Like the leader of the Igbo Youth Movement, Ozobi, said concerning Southeast Development Commission. Please, Igbo, the person spearheading that commission is Mark Okoye. He is known, he's our brother. Yes. So, but the problem here is that we saw a committee of senators comprising Senator Abaribe, Senator Juzokalo, and others, asking him to come and give account of 60 billion naira given to Igbo. In that committee, they were asking him how much is remaining in that 16 billion. He says 11 billion naira. Then Juzokalo says it's a lie that he called CBN. But the one remaining is 13.something billion. And in that case, that he rented a one-room apartment in Abuja, 153 million. How can we be buying in Igbo land? No development, our mothers are buying, there's no good education, and a kind of this money was given to, because why did they create a Southeast Development Commission? Because Igbo started agitating that we don't have, we are being neglected. Yes, so how can the money come? And their stories already. So we are telling the committee.
This is where I see your interest lie. This is about money, 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 money. I wish you never discussed this issue of money. This thing you call Southeast Youth Group that you form is dead on arrival. With the issue of this Southeast Development Commission or whatever that you are now pushing forward, 1 billion alone can, even not up to a billion, some hundreds of millions of naira will shut you up and you will go back and sleep. You will just go back and sleep and you will not talk about it anymore. I wish you focus on the security, on how to protect our people and save us for the impending doom that is coming. That is the most critical thing that we're facing today. The security of the land is the most important thing that we need to discuss. Not all this Southeast Development Commission. The people that gave her that money know that it will not get to you. The intention is not for that money should get to you. That's not the initial intention. The people that put that money forward don't have a plan to make that money work for you. I don't know why it is difficult for you to understand. The same commission, they have it in the Biafra land, in the riverine area that they call Niger Delta. What came out of it? What came out of it? Has their life become better? Has there been any development? Even the oil spill, have they removed it? Even in the north, the same thing was there. In the southwest, it is there. Did it make any life better? So why would you focus your attention on that? The only reason is that give me my own share and let me go and sleep, which is what Nigeria is known for. And with that, you just destroyed everything you said on this very program that you presented. You know, Southeast Development Commission is a scam. It is the greatest scam of all time. And look at when you are talking now. You are now speaking as if there is no more. Oh, we say they are marginalizing, and now they have given us money, and some people take money for themselves. How much? How much is that? How much is that amount compared to what they have taken from our land, and compared to what have taken from us, and compared to the victimization we have faced? How much is that compared to the problem we have faced because of their lies, propaganda against us? But look at when you are speaking now, you make it seem as if they have now vindicated. You are now vindicating the federal government and now channeling the energy to somewhere else. It is sad. It is sad.
See, we are now concerned in this case, and we heard that their office is in Enugu. So all IYM will fix a date, will match to that office. We are not begging anybody. We will demand for that money. It will not be like a political. You must inform your people. Every IYM coordinator, go and inform your people. So all through Dokalo and Abaribe and the rest of them, your committee should know that IYM, Igbo Youth Movement, is also coming in. We're interested. So that money is not for politicians. That investigation will not end for politicians. So that is it. Thank you very much.
You see, that is it. And when you see the way the issue was presented, you know that is their main purpose of coming out. That is the main purpose of coming out. But from all indication, we have seen this over and over playing out in all parts of the country of Nigeria, and it doesn't end well. The motive is always personal. It's always end in personal gain, personal motive, and all that. That is why when we see such a thing, we watch it and observe it from the distance. And I think this is not going to be different from others that are happening. So I will continue to put a light on some of the issues and what is happening, and we must not look away. A lot of atrocities is happening in this political republic that must not be looked. Nigeria is gone and gone for good. I don't know why somebody will waste his precious time to begin to talk about Nigeria or to begin to do that. Nigeria is gone, and it is gone for good. Whether you accept it or not, whether you like it or not, it is a truth, a hard truth that sometimes it is difficult for people to digest. But it is a truth that will continue to haunt everybody, both Tom, Dick, and Harry. They have succeeded in taking people to themselves. They have succeeded in silencing people who are supposed to speak and are not speaking. They have succeeded using your so-called politician. Look at this man, this Seibo in Anambra State. The video when he talked about the Biafra agitation is still online. One of these days, I'm still going to play that video. Where this Seibo today was cautioning the elites in Biafra land against the betrayal of the Biafran cause and using Biafra for their own personal interest. But today, that Seibo is the one that is using Biafra for his own personal interest. Seibo is one that has sold Biafra, sold his soul. Today, his best man is Udele. Udele, a riffraff that was imported from Turkey that has nothing to do. It's this Seibo today that is sponsoring every propaganda against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Seibo is the one sponsoring the propaganda against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He's the leading sponsor of the one they call Yambaba. The Yambaba that can play gamble with his own family, that have acted drama with his own family, that doesn't have respect for his family. Today, he wants to create content with Biafra and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. sponsored by Seibo. And I will not be surprised if Seibo was a part of those who are sponsoring Nega also. Of course, we know Ijele. He has entered among the sponsors of Ijele because we saw him with Ijele in video very recently. Udele that doesn't have any portfolio. Udele has no portfolio. How did he get to essence of standing with the governor and taking a picture in Anambra State? Udele doesn't have it. Even Hope Uzodinma was a little bit decent enough, even though Hope Uzodinma invited Udele. Hope Uzodinma invited Udele in Imo State, but he couldn't have that confidence to have a picture or a video with him. But Seibo invited Udele and had a video and picture with Udele to show you how far he has gone. This is a man who is championing everything against the Igbo cause. Today, while Fulani is busy taking over our forests, what is concerning Igbo is pastors and native doctors. When you ask him what he has achieved for almost 6 or 7 years you've been in office, pastors and native doctors. Nothing else. Nothing else. Today, he is the chief sponsor of the attack on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He's the chief sponsor of the Department of Sabotage, the DOS. The ex-DOS, it is Soyibo that is sponsoring them. When he made that announcement, it was on the public television now, when he said that they have told him that they are now working, they are ready to work with him. They promised him that they are ready to work with him. He said it on national TV. I still have the video with me, video evidence. The video evidence is there where Seibo said that he is now working with them. And he was one that approached them and told them to hand over the ESN. And they handed over ESN. They used ESN today to form the Agone Chamber. They used ESN to form, what do they call it? Ndakodo. They use they form different kinds of security. They formed the Anambra State today against his own people. None of them is pursuing Fulani. None of them. Some of the people that are placed here now, that you see where people are responding, communities are responding. It was in Abia State. Abia State, the vigilante group are going after the terrorists, rescuing people that were kidnapped. But in Anambra State, they go after the innocent citizens that are not armed. Pastors and native doctors. Who has address, who live in the community. That is where his own focus is. This is a man who confessed that a time will come when the Biafran people will no longer tolerate the blackmailing of the Biafran cause, using the Biafran cause for other motives, for people to go on at the back and use Biafra for their personal agenda. That a time will come when Biafrans will no longer accept that. This man was speaking to the politicians, his fellow politicians. He said elite. But today, everything Selibo talked there is what he's doing today. I want to share that video. Let me go see if I can get that video and share, because some of these things, sometimes it is better played so that you can see it. When Selibo, before he became a governor, where he was speaking, condemning the activities of the politicians and the elites, warning them of what is coming, that the time will come when people will no longer tolerate for them to use Biafra to go and buy interest for themselves, and the Biafrans will not accept it. But today, he is the one doing that exact thing. Let me see if I can get that video. Let me see.
State indices and the rankings of Nigeria, we have been coming back precipitously from number 54 in 2005, now to number 13. We are one of the
countries. This is Seibo far back. Listen to him carefully.
And so it hasn't worked. The concoction hasn't worked. The 36 state structure that we have today, Ofodile argues very forcefully that this current 36 structure is contrary to the instruments of surrender of Biafra. That there are three conditions that they agreed on the instruments of surrender. One of which was that the Biafrans accepted, said, we accept the current structure, which then was a 12-state structure. And that B or C of it was that any future change must bring all Nigerians on the table to agree. And that these were the things they signed at the instrument of surrender, but that the military unilaterally subsequently changed the structure without...
You can hear this man, this idiot Igbo. This was Igbo when he has not become a governor yet, telling you the original agreement that was reached with Biafra before the call of the war. We had 12 states, and they said it must be 12 states. If there will be any changing from that 12 states, there must be a consensus. But these things we are removed and changed to different things. And yet, today, this idiot is supporting a structure of 30-something states that nobody agreed on. Today, he is the one pushing the agenda of one Nigeria more than any person. Just listen to him very well.
Then the participation of the other side. And he argued that this is against the instrument of the surrender, and that no wonder the Southeast has been marginalized out of it, 5 states out of the others having 6 and 7, as the case may be. Now there is the issue of unitary fiscal federalism instead of the 1963 Republican Constitution on fiscal federalism. There is the expansive exclusive list and having overpowerful Abuja. The development process is a trickle down from Abuja to the rest instead of a bottom-up economic and development arrangement. The census and revenue allocation that disadvantages the Southeast. There is the citizenship question. The Igbos think they become visitors everywhere all over the country. When it is time for census, the Southeast complain that they are about the only ethnic group that have maybe a majority of their people living outside of their homeland. And that during census, their populations are counted in the states where they live. Imagine a state, and then population becomes basis for sharing the oil money in Abuja. When it is time for that, you count them in there, you don't ask for state of origin in the census. But then, you use also the population to get the allocations, but when it is time to share anything else, you remind them that they don't belong here, as the case may be. So there have been issues about citizenship question, and so on and so forth. So, in other words, this system, it's not just the Southeast or the Igbos that complain. It has not worked for Nigeria. And my thesis is that even if any government, including this one, just have all the political appointments from one village, my thesis is that the life of the average person in that village will not change. Just rewind it again, and think the other way. The last regime, we had an Ebele Azikiwe as president, we had secretary to government, we had minister of finance, and coordinating minister on the economy. We had all of this, deputy senate president, this, that, and so on and so forth. Most of the financial institutions headed by people from the Southeast. And yet, there is no motorable federal highway in Igbo land. This thing is an elite game, as far as I'm concerned. The issue of who and whatever and so on and so forth is not taking us anywhere. And unless we get to the heart of it. So, it seems that there is a consensus today. There is a consensus. If you take it much broadly, the North, so-called North, if you calculate the number of years they were in power, but essentially, poverty is still predominantly a northern phenomenon. So, that you control this and a few billionaires are made here and there and so on and so forth means absolute nothing. The ordinary man in Nigeria has not benefited, is getting worse off by the current system that we have. But there is a consensus now on restructuring. And in that case, Fodila would argue that Biafra becomes a metaphor for agitation by oppressed people for justice, equity, and fairness. It hasn't worked for anybody. If you look at President Buhari recently said he also supports amendment of the constitutional devolution. If you read the APC manifesto, it says, quote, as a change agent, APC intends to cleanse our closet to halt the dangerous drift of Nigeria to a failed state, with a conscious plan for post-oil economy in Nigeria. To achieve this laudable program, APC government shall restructure the country, devolve power to the units with the best practices of federalism, and eliminate unintended paralysis of the center. End of quote. This is the government in power that controls 23 states. This is the APC manifesto. So, and the Southern People's Assembly talk about the same thing. The Afenifere's position on the National Conference, if you read it, talks about the same thing. The National Conference report talks, supported by PDP, the same thing. So what is holding us? I must say the goal of this bit should be political stability and economic prosperity. In my view, a competitive federalism. We can write a book on this aspect of competitive federalism. Compared to the First Republic, when everybody had theirs, they had the resources, especially on revenue, fiscal federalism. We've argued before, leave everybody their own thing, let them pay taxes to the center. This umbilical cord where Abuja will set wage for everybody all over the country, and so on and so forth. It was for a time when oil money paid for it, not anymore. Even in the US, you may have read about the governor of Maine, that the wife of the governor had to take a job in a restaurant to augment their income. Because given the state of Maine, the salary of the governor was not enough for them to survive on. And the wife had to take a job in a restaurant. The governor of Maine's salary cannot be the same as the mayor of New York, and so on and so forth. But here we've done all of this. Abuja controls it. Anyway, that's for another day. But what is holding us now, what I call as matter arising, is that the devil is in the details. Let the debate begin. What exactly do we mean by restructuring? The National Conference report, for example, is a beginning. But in my view, doesn't go much. It talks about creating more states, which misses the point. It's still more of the same. We are saying the ones that you have are not viable. 20-something states today cannot pay salaries. So what are we talking about? Or should we go back to the EQMS constitution, the proposal of 6 zonal structure as the federating units? What model of federation? Should we use the UAE, United Arab Emirates system, or which one are we going? Let us get to work and begin to think. Some people propose, and I agree, that we need a new constitution negotiated by the people of Nigeria. And my thesis is that if this is the only achievement of President Buhari, he would be the greatest statesman ever in the mold of Abraham Lincoln. But we need to get this done. That the people of Nigeria will have to get together and negotiate a new constitution for themselves. Second, or the third point, is leadership failure in Igbo land. It raises fundamental questions if you read Chude's book.
I want you to pay attention to this aspect. Leadership in Igbo land, what he's going to say. This was in the launching of the book of Chido Fodile on Biafra. I want you to listen to what this idiot is talking about. After saying all this thing, today, everything he has condemned in this very program is what he is doing today. And it was after this program that Muhammadu Buhari appointed him. After this program, Muhammadu Buhari searched him out. They appointed him and promised him Anambra State governorship. and gave him the mandate on what to do, to destroy that nonsense he had been talking about. And he came from nowhere to Abga. From nowhere to Abga. While he was Abga, he was working for APC. Up to today, he's still working for APC, the Fulani party, Tutumodu. And his mission is simple. Make sure you destroy the Biafra that you spoke about before. The same condition is what they gave him to return back and serve his second term. The mission in the second term, make sure you destroy everything that has to do with Biafra and Nnamdi Kanu. Make sure you detach the youth from him. And that is why he has gone ahead to employ youth today that are working with him. I want you to hear what this idiot said before he was bought over, before he was completely captured by the Fulani terrorists. Listen to what he was saying.
On the collapse of failure of leadership in Igbo land.
Failure of leadership in Igbo land.
For the new one, whatever. It's in that light it agitates your mind when we talk about the Igbo presidency. What does that actually mean? Is it to have somebody wearing a red cap in the villa, or what? If all that we say, even within the states, a governor is first his village, his local government, then his senatorial zone, so that he can be Ocholozwa of his own local government or his village, and so on and so forth, then let the others care. Is that the kind of leadership we are talking about Nigeria, or in the new Biafra, as it were? And we have seen it, like I said, about people occupying offices and so on and so forth, and still nothing. So the question is, the same contradictions in Nigeria are also there within Igbo land. We cry of marginalization at the larger Nigeria, but there is also cries of marginalization within. There is the identity question within. There is the citizenship and indigenship question within. How many other Igbos live in Aba and in Abia, for example? But, I don't know, 2 years or 3 years ago, that was the indigenship thing, that all non-Abia citizens were sacked from but these people had lived there, worked there, paid their taxes there. They were counted as part of Abia in the census. You collect revenue, more revenue because of them. But then, no, you can't work in there. You are not an indigent. So while we are pointing one finger there, ladies and gentlemen, look closely. The other three are saying, let's get it here. And so how can this new leadership emerge? And then of course the entry fee is very high. The fourth, the new Biafranism, and that is my last point. And let me say that Nigeria has wittingly or unwittingly dragged the Biafran issue from the periphery into the mainstream discussion. Nnamdi Kanu, in my view, threw a bet and Nigeria took it.
Listen to the idiot.
Today, he is the most popular political prisoner.
This is why this man is fighting to see that Nnamdi Kanu is destroyed. He acknowledged that Nnamdi Kanu is the most popular political figure in Biafra land today, in the entire Igbo land. The most popular political figure. And this is why this man is in the front line to destroy Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to make sure that nobody talks about him anymore. That is why he has employed many social media idiots. He is sponsoring international locally against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This bastard, because of this comment he made. I want you to pay attention. Pay attention. Everything this man is doing today, he knows what he is doing. Listen carefully on this program. Listen.
The Biafran issue from the periphery into the mainstream discussion. Nnamdi Kanu, in my view, threw a bet and Nigeria took it. Today, he is the most popular political prisoner and will end up either as a hero or a martyr. But to his credit, he has forced Nigeria and the world to discuss Biafra. I believe that keeping him there does not do Nigeria any good. I believe this young man should be released, and released like yesterday.
This is this idiot calling for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And this was 2015. Oh, the first time Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, that was when he was making this that was when he made this very comment. He acknowledged the force from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have taken the Biafran cause to a different level and forced the discussion of Biafra to be on the table. He acknowledged that time, 2015, when he was kidnapped 2015. So this video should be around that time, 2016. That was when he made this very video. Then he was still with the CBN governor or whatever nonsense he was then. Let's listen to him.
I will not be surprised if he becomes a subject of the next political campaigns.
This is what they are afraid of. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have become the greatest and the most political figure in Nigeria. That you can never, nobody come close to him. And this is their fear. Till tomorrow, this is their fear. This is why they don't want him to be released. Today, he's a politician. He is a governor today. The same man who is fighting for his release then in 2015, today he's saying not release him. He is one of those trying to destroy his image by all means necessary. Look at him, what he was saying in 2016.
Just like we dealt with Awolowo, who was convicted and imprisoned of treason, or Gowon, charged with treason, or even Ojukwu himself was forgiven, and so on and so forth. I don't want to make any predictions, but I believe we need to solve this.
You see, all his predictions then, that time his brain was still okay. That time he has not completely been occupied by Fulani Janjaweed contract. He has not taken the contract he has taken today. He even made an example that everybody was having a sentence with treason. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Awolowo, and who again? Many of them who have been put for treason. The same way Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is facing today. That at the end of the day, they emerge as a hero. They come out as a hero. That is what he was saying then in 2016. But today, he is one of those who is joining those who want to take the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by all means necessary.
Because according to Ofodile, this book, quote, he said, the lesson to be learned, if anyone cares to listen, is that the detention of Nnamdi Kanu, no matter for how long, will not stop the agitation of Biafra, end of quote.
Absolutely.
He further argues that the detention of Wazurike between 2005 to 2007 helped to radicalize his followers. The same thing happened when the leader of Boko Haram was killed. His followers became more radicalized. Detention of Nnamdi Kanu, I never heard of him before this time, to be quite honest. Never heard of him. I didn't even know about the IPOB or whatever thing. Until this thing, and you now realize globally it's become an issue and it's become mainstream. Now, and again, quote, he says, this book argues that the idea of a customary government under the Supreme Council of Elders in accordance with customary law enjoys the support among a section of the Igbo, but it is the Biafra or death philosophy of Nnamdi Kanu that found resonance across the length and breadth of the Igbo nation. Therefore, there cannot be a resolution of the Biafran dilemma without a wholesome engagement of the Nnamdi Kanu Uche Mefo faction of IPOB. End of quote. That's what this was. So, if I were President Buhari, quite honestly, I would be very suspicious of anyone who advises me to ignore the Biafran issue. I'll be very suspicious. Do
you imagine that if he was to be Buhari, he will be suspicious of everybody that tells him to ignore the Biafra issue? Today, This same idiot is the one that is pushing that people should ignore the issue of Biafra. Recently, he conducted a seminar where they come and they were talking all manner of nonsense. And the one that seminar is targeted at is to destroy the issue of Biafra, the marginalization and the suffering of the Igbo during the Biafran war. All these chihuahuas that he pays, all those chihuahuas under his payroll, they came to that program. I saw some portion of that program shared online. I even see one Reverend Father, that idiot that talks from both of his mouth, talking nonsense that I don't know where he got it from. And I say, what do these ones think? What do they intend to achieve? The intention is to water down the suffering of the Biafran people and force you back into an entity that you did not sign up for. But this is what this man was saying before he was fully bought. Look at his line of thought.
Anybody who says that is either ignorant or being mischievous or quite patently doesn't mean well for the government itself. It probably wants the same government to repeat the mistakes of the past so that it could lead it down the train. We must start learning in this country. So let's talk Biafra. Where are the Igbo elite and the intelligentsia in all of this? Especially those in Nigeria. It seems, as this book points out, this is being driven mostly by the Igbo intelligentsia in diaspora, the new resurgence. The new ones within, there seems to be a division, 3 classes you can identify. The ones within the mainland, and I'm shocked, and you discuss, they have a different point of view. Those in diaspora within Nigeria, so to speak, who are in Abuja and Lagos and so on and so forth, Kano, Kaduna, and so on. And an elder was asked about that, living in one of these northern states about Biafra, and they asked him, what do you think about this Biafra? He said, well, nah. I just said, no, in other words, they should keep it up, but you know I can no longer go now. You see all the things I have here, I cannot carry them on my head. So, there seems to be a sense of either denial, and on one part, or people who think, no, it won't be, because we can't just imagine it. And because of some discussion that, okay, if this happens, you will lose your property, you will lose that, and so on. Of course, that is untenable. I mean, I too was wrong on this, because if by any chance you have another state of Biafra, it will be the 16th state of ECOWAS. And that means you have free movement of goods and persons. But the fundamental question, the fundamental issue is that this debate is not happening. This whole thing is being driven almost in a haphazard manner. Last week, they called for, was that last week? Yeah, last week. They called for a sit at home. And even without anybody getting out to more enforce and so on, I learned virtually Anambra and many other cities were completely shut down.
You see him here confessing. You see Seribo here is confessing that there was a sit at home without enforcement. Sit at home without enforcement, and people complied. This was all the way 2016. Sit at home without enforcement, and the entire nation, the entire Igbo land complied. But today, this same man is one today who is pushing different kinds of narrative and agenda against the Biafran struggle, against the people, including forcing them out. Today, this man is in a very deep contract with the caliphate. And you ask, what went wrong?
It just tells you there is something going on. But, again, where is the elite in this? What is missing is structured debate and the apparent elite aloofness or complicity or hypocrisy. Elite in denial. For the politicians who think you can just, let's use them temporarily, you know.
This is what Selibo is doing today. This thing he's talking about today is what he is doing in 2026. I want you to pay close attention. Everything that Seibo is saying here is what he's doing in 2026. Just listen.
Let's use them. Just go on, while we can then use that to negotiate for something here. I can tell you, you will create a monster that will consume you. When that inferno comes, both us, everybody else, and the kind of thing that happened in Biafra where any dissent was considered a saboteur. Okay? You might get to a point where you will be telling them, just go on, while we can negotiate here, get something for ourselves in Abuja. I can tell you, these guys are no fools. At some point, they will look at you too and know that you're actually part of the problem. And so on and so forth. So, I say, let the debate must begin. The late Dr. Pius Okibo, in this book as well, presented what the memo by late Dr. Pius Okibo presented to the Biafran government on the economic viability of Biafra. Nobody is talking about what the currency will look like. How will you fare with international trade? What kind of constitution are you talking about? And Ofodile forcefully argues here that the Ahara Declaration of 1969 came too late. They had intelligentsia pushing for Biafra, but there was no organized structure. That if they had done what they did towards the end of the war at the beginning, Biafra would not have ended the way that it did. But what is shocking is people talk about this in their bedrooms and in their parlors. And then you come out and everybody is just, and so on. I'm sure it will not take long. So what I am calling is that we must, the elite, the intelligentsia, get out of the closet and let us, now that the issue, the president in New York made a point. He said there will be no referendum in Biafra. Now, and I said, my reaction to it was, oh my God. So this matter has actually gotten to the point where we are now talking whether to have a referendum or not to have a referendum. The moment you've reached that point, it tells you that it's only a matter of time. But who is driving the debate? The New Sikhism, New Biafranism, and so on and so forth. Everybody seems to be quite quiet. And finally, let me agree with Wole Soyinka that Biafra is an idea. And that is what this book talks about. You can't defeat it with guns or prison cells. The only way to defeat it is to offer a counter-narrative. What should? There has been no counter-narrative until now. What Honorable Ofodile has done is to provide very powerful, not only counter-narrative, but counter-narratives. And I will say, and stresses the urgency of action now. The clock is ticking. And I can only end by congratulating Chode for this eminent work. Thank you very much.
You have just had a speech that was made by Seibo far back, after the detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in 2015. And when you listen to him, you can see the role he's playing today is something he's very much aware of. There is nothing that Seibo is doing today that is a mistake. Some of you that think that he's ignorant of what Seibo is not ignorant of anything he's doing. He's very much informed on what he's doing. And that is why he knows the effect of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He knows that the power Mazi Nnamdi Kanu carries. He knows how far Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has gone. And that is why he's in the front line fighting it to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released. Destroying his image, destroying his identity, destroying his personality. And you ask me, what does he intend to gain? What do he intend to gain? A man that knows the truth of Biafra and know that Biafra cannot be stopped. No matter what you say, no matter how you go about it, you cannot stop it. You cannot. You better stop trying. You cannot. Just when you think you get it, you cannot stop it. And when we say that, people don't really understand. We will continue to expose all these informations. We will continue to expose them. These are the people who in the past have spoken somehow good about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the cause of Biafra, but today they are doing totally different thing. They are on a different page altogether. They are on a different page. On total different page. How do you explain that? How will anyone explain that? I want us to listen to this other one. Let's hear.
Nigerians do not believe that Nnamdi Kanu can now receive fair trial strictly on the law, because the laws that have been, it's gone through the court processes, one court order, one outright release, unconditional release, and the Nigerian state refused. And you keep holding him until you get a favorable court order. I'm sorry. It is our view that the current circumstance makes Nnamdi Kanu and his colleagues political prisoners, our prisoners of conscience. They're no longer, it's not about crime, it's not about anything, because we're no longer following the rule of law.
The truth of the matter is, when you incarcerate Nnamdi Kanu, who is incarcerated is not Nnamdi Kanu, it's all people of conscience. Who is incarcerated is not Nnamdi Kanu, it's all people whose perspective he represents, whether they come from an ethnic nationality group. If you incarcerate him, you incarcerate all people who believe in the rule of law. And so it is this collective imprisonment that we expect will force a rethink on the part of all people about this. So we do hope and expect that we will get results. What essentially it's calling for is citizenship and citizenship behavior.
That is it. The same man that called Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a prisoner of conscience is the one attacking him today, calling for his head. Is the one sponsoring propaganda and blackmail against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What went wrong? Wherever you are watching this program from, I want you to remember that we have a battle ahead of us. The supreme leader of IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is a prisoner of conscience. And we must not stop calling for his unconditional release, wherever you are. Every Monday, remember, we observe a sit at home to demand his unconditional release, and we will not stop. It doesn't matter how many people that participate, we will keep that memory alive. We will continue to keep the memory alive and continue to make sure that the voice of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is heard. One of the major responsibilities I have in this channel is to give Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a voice, give Mazi Samanekwa a voice, give Biafran cause a voice, to make sure that the heart of Biafrans, the mind of Biafrans is heard across the whole world. I appreciate everyone that has been part of this program, wherever you are joining us. Thank you for being part of today. Thank you for participating. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for being part of the program. See you again later in the day by the grace of Chukwu Kabiama. And may Chukwu Kabiama guide and protect you and bless you. May Chukwu Kabiama guide and protect our school Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. May Chukwu Kabiama guide and protect our Prime Minister Mazi Samanekwa. Thank you so much for being part of the program. See you again next time. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Kwanza,
heaven, the very oldest language on the face of this very earth. Chico di Cabia Mapuni, Chineke, and Son of the Winner, Ishala, Nina, Gozaha, Nana Jama, Nana Farusi, Obanana, all the other then saw no totua yaba no one and when I raise it because Tahara and you were not young. Be connected and make a difference with your source and you were not
but you know what? They would like you to believe that someone is the cause of it. No. I am the solution, and the only way they can get to you is by kicking me out, which is not possible. I have come. Look with you. After I am done with Nigeria, Biafra will be free and enjoy freedom. Biafra will know the importance of freedom and what I can do in 5 years to come. Thank you.
Any trust in this world.